Again, at first, because you don't understand,
who doesn't
content,
understand?
Meaning, well, I'm talking about myself.
Yeah.
So again, being on YouTube, when you don't understand certain bounds of YouTube panels and things like that, people on panels say all types of egregious stuff or whatever to get reactions from the crowd, right? And so you might personally take stuff a certain way when they were just doing it as a reaction to get people in the crowd.
And so how did
So what she's talking about here is basically she's trying to say that Anton was only saying the things to her, coming on to her, saying things like she's beautiful and she's pretty and all these other things, because he was only doing it to get reactions from the crowd. This isn't who he is. Basically, to me, she's calling him a fraud. That's what I see it as. Because if he's only doing things to get reactions from the crowd, then you're not being who you truly are. And a lot of people have been saying that he's a grifter. So wouldn't that align with what people have been saying? Because when I come on here, I'm exactly who I am. A lot of you have been with me for a very long time from my other page. Ain't nothing changed. I speak how I speak. I cover what I'm gonna cover, and I'm gonna give my opinion about it. And it doesn't matter, what people think about it. I'm going to be me. But according to her, that's not the case. Let me back this up a little bit, because I want you all to hear something that she said that also, to me, contradicts what Anton said himself or what he tried to prove. Okay, when you got to do all this to prove a point, try to prove a point, to me, it's just you trying to make the audience believe what you want them to believe. Let me take this back a little bit. Hold on, because I got certain points I want us to hear.
Not we were, me and you were shooting here, and then we just get something to eat afterwards, but we are doing business.
Yes.
I'm saying, hey, are you up? Are you available today?
Hold on, let me go back a little bit more.
That he met your
husband. They don't have a form. No, that's my
or you want to protect him?
That's
so
my
then how
business.
Much?
That's my business mind sense, because there are other people on that show. I do not know how much.
So then let's give a range, because a range doesn't pinpoint the range.
That's why I said I can do the range.
Yeah, sure.
You asked me to pinpoint.
Sure. What's the range?
So I can do a range of anywhere between 2 to maybe 35.
To what? I don't know. You said $2, $200
to 35.
2,000
to 35
to 3,500 a month.
Correct.
Okay, for your role.
I'm only on that show. So there are some people that are on 5 days a week. There are some people that are on 1 day a week. And for me, I'm only on Thursdays and Fridays.
Okay. So Thursdays and Fridays, you make a good amount of money just for Thursdays and Fridays?
Correct.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, she says she's on Thursdays and Fridays. They can be on for hours, okay, anywhere from 2 hours to 6 hours. They are on that panel a very long time at night, okay. So 2 days a week. I mean, I would think her husband is there when she's on, because they're all doing it from wherever they live at. She's on 2 days a week, and she gets paid anywhere from 2,000, I think she said, to maybe 3,500 or something like that a month. So that means she would be on 2, 4, 6, 8 days a week, anywhere from 2 hours, 2 to 6 hours. And she's getting paid between $2,000 to $3,500 for being on. Now, what she did not want to do is give a absolute amount, because she does not know what the other people on the show makes. Okay, she does not know that, and so therefore she didn't want to give a straight up answer. And to me, here's the thing. How do I put this? When I'm looking at the behavior of Anton Daniels and what I have seen, okay, I would have done my research, and this is for any woman that's watching this, because I would have done my research on Anton, and she said that she watched him, so she knows, or should I say, she should have known exactly who he was, how he talks when it comes to women, what his thought process is, and knowing what I know, and I don't be on his channel like that, okay? she should have known that to me, this would happen or something similar to this could have happened. We talked about this on the other channel. The problem is with certain women, you think you special. You think that what you see other people do, particularly men, do when it comes to women, it doesn't apply to you. The same thing that we see happen when it comes to Darlene and Corey, right? Darlene knows very well now. She's been with him a long time. But she says she watched Anton the same way she says she watched Corey. And she was shocked by what Corey said about her. But if you watch Corey, you know how Corey talks and you know his mindset and the behavior that he has displayed on YouTube when he does performances. You would know that about Corey. So then to say you've seen and watched this person, and in Anton's case, to say you studied Anton, but then you act like you so surprised. Oh my goodness, I can't believe. Oh, I'm so shocked. Oh, and now you having to come out here and try to clear your name. And in my opinion, you ain't clearing nothing. You making it worse. That's how I feel. Do y'all feel like she clearing her name or she making it worse? Y'all tell me in the comments. To try to do damage control to save your image, because YouTubers are running around here, and the people in the comments, the people that's watching, are saying some undesirable things about your relationship with Anton. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to be a little sensitive to the algorithm, okay? For you to be as smart as you want us to believe, because you are conservative, you can talk on all these political issues, and your lane is pop culture. Okay, this is what you said. But you go and get on the panel with a person like Anton with his behavior and his history for $3,500 a month. When you tell us you indicated that you used to a certain level, she comes off like, I live this high level lifestyle, right? All because you've learned so much from him. This is what she said. Now, some of this I'm gonna get ahead of. I'm gonna let you hear what she said. She's learned so much from him. You could have learned the same thing from somewhere else. There's plenty of people that do YouTube courses. She says she has a manager. I'm sure they could have reached out to you. They could have got you the training that you need. My question is, why go on his platform knowing who he is and what he has displayed when it comes to other women and the topics that he covered? Why would you go on his platform? I'm just saying, I'm just asking a question. Y'all tell me, because I don't understand it.
Let's get to the meat and potatoes of what's been out there.
Mhm.
So I understand that Anton is married. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you're married.
Correct.
Correct. Have you met Anton's wife?
Yes.
How would you describe her?
She's when I say probably one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life, that lady is probably one of the nicest people I've ever met. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And has Anton met your husband?
In person, absolutely not.
He has not met him in person. Has he met him over the phone or in DM? What other form of introduction when you say not in person?
Because a lot of people assume that, when you have to see people, it has to be in person, or that if you don't meet them in person, then it's something or whatever. So
I'm saying, what's the form of communication? That he met your husband?
They don't have a form of communication where they talk back and forth.
Yeah. But you said he did not meet your husband in person.
No.
Is that to imply that he met him virtually?
No.
So he's never met your husband?
No.
And why is that?
Now, you see what she just said? You see the spin that just happened? A person that is, in my opinion, deflecting, trying to spin the question or spin around the question so they don't answer it. He asked you, did he meet your husband? Has he met your husband? Let's go back, okay? Because let me tell you something. To me, The lie detective says that's a lie. He's never met or talked to her husband. She's been working with him for over a year and a half, 2 years now. She's flown out to where he is, stayed out there, okay, overnight. I don't know how many nights. Went to a game, post herself in the game, at the game. Okay, she gonna get into that, more into that. And her husband has never met or talked to this one-man show, Anton, not a conglomerate, not a corporation, none of that. I don't care if it was a corporation. Let me tell you something. I have been around people, let me say this, congressional people, okay? And when you're in an environment and there's a group of people or there's a company that's going to events, that's one thing. But when there are people, when there's a one-on-one situation, that's a whole nother thing. He's a one-man show. This person has all this money. He has all this money that he makes sure stays in house. It's just him. And she's never met, her husband's never met or talked to Anton in over a year. I said it before and I'll say it again. Where I'm from, or should I say where we're from? Because she said she's a native here. I don't know who she's dealing with. He must, actually, I do know who she's dealing with. And I'm going to tell y'all that in a minute, okay? But unless he's not from here, I don't know what it is that she's telling him or who this man is. This does not give me leadership and protection, because you covered your wife and she's going to a strange place, a city that she does not live in, to meet a unknown man where she's going to stay, and you've never met this man. Y'all, I don't know. Some of you ladies who I'm sure you've been in relationships and you've been married, put in the chat, would your husband be okay with this? I'm not, I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. No, mine's be ready to file for divorce probably. Because this is the very action and the behavior of women that Anton talks about. But you're doing that very thing. Now, let me tell y'all, because she also did an interview, because she did an interview with this guy, and I liked how he talked to her. She also did an interview with Tasha K on Tasha's app. And on that app, when I tell you, Tasha was drilling her back and forth, and she reached out to Tasha, her team. She says she has a manager, right? Her manager reached out to Tasha to do the interview. Tasha did not reach out to her. Tasha didn't care about doing an interview with her or any of that. Tasha says she's doing an interview with Anton too, which I'm not interested in. Only part I'll be interested in is what he has to say about her, because Tasha said she's going to ask Anton about her, their situation. Now, according to what she told Tasha, she was evading a lot of questions when it comes to what Tasha asked her, and I'll give you a few of those. Tasha asked her how long she been married. She didn't want to tell Tasha. She says forever, or since she's been an adult. That's what she said. She asked her, did she have children? She didn't want to answer that question either. And she asked her, was her husband white? He must be white. What is he? And she said her husband is African. That's what she said. But let's go on. That's a little extra for you all, okay? Now, knowing that, let's go on and hear what else she has to say.
No particular reason.
Sure.
Just I've never had to actually do anything where my husband was there, and so if he's there, like if my like when we work together, is here. So
let's go back a little bit to what she asked about her husband.
Mm-hmm. So I understand.
I just want you to hear again when he asked about her husband.
Because that's the NDA characteristic.
No, that's my.
Or you want to protect him?
That's
so
my
then how
business.
Much?
That's my business mind sense, because there are other people on that show. I do not know how much.
So then let's give a range.
Hold on. I want to go back here too, y'all. I'm sorry. Look, it's certain parts I want you. Yeah, African girl was the T. That's what she said. I'm not sure that I believe it, but that's what she said. And Tasha asked her over and over again, kept asking her questions about her husband. And she also said that she does not post her husband because, out of protection for him. So what I see this girl do, or this lady do, is she protects these men, right? She hasn't said anything about Corey negative in spite of what Corey said about her. She hasn't really said much. She's given her point of view when it comes to Anton to clear her name, even though to me, Anton put her in a situation, he wanted to appear a certain type of way, and which is, I say, to her detriment, right? Which has ruined her reputation that she is now trying to clean up. And when it comes to her husband has not come out to say anything about the rumors that's being spread about her or show his face. So she is used to protecting men. On the other hand, to protect your husband would have also meant to me that this relationship, this workship that she supposedly has with Anton, then things should have also, in my opinion, been handled differently as well. Oh yeah, girl, what's the tea, honey? Tasha was drilling her back and forth. She was. But let me go back a little bit because I want y'all to hear what she says about this NDA, because Anton is supposed to have all his people under NDA. I want y'all to hear this.
An exception, because I don't ask, who's on an NDA. So I don't know.
But you know that other
is firsthand. Mm-hmm. And that was something. And he was very open about showing me this or that and the third, because it wasn't a sense of, oh, this is a threat if I tell you this, or you're going to tell other people and I'm not going to be able to make money.
Sure. So right now, your role as a co-host is virtual.
Correct.
How often do you fly, or what would be the need to fly to Detroit?
Only if we're doing other content. So like we did content one time for a couple times, but in the beginning, the first time was for my channel.
Sure.
So I needed to do a one-on-one interview. So I got to do that plus our after hours.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Does Anton have you on an NDA? I've read that somewhere. A non-disclosure agreement for people who don't know.
Yeah, they always say that because some people pay attention to.
But does he have you on one?
No, I'm not on NDA.
So you're not on NDA.
No, I'm not on NDA. But he does give out NDAs to a lot of people. If not
staff, you mean staff?
Anybody that he works with. So they don't have to be staff if he just maybe interviewed you or whatever.
But were you ever on an NDA?
No.
So what's the exception?
Bingo. What's the exception? Everybody else gets put on an NDA, but you don't. You work for him. Even people that don't work for him gets put on this NDA, right? But she was not put on an NDA. Why? Why? I'm going to let her answer this. Why is there an exception for you to not be put on this NDA, but not anybody else? And then you notice how she rolled her eyes and got upset because he asked her, I think his name was Orlando, he asked her about the NDA, right? And she rolls her eyes and wants to, well, they said and this and that. Why are you rolling your eyes, and why does that irritate you? Because that's what he's given to me, that you're annoyed. Again, the behavior that she is displaying, even though I don't think she doesn't recognize what she's doing, right? Because facial expressions, body language, tone, all of that matters. So you was annoyed, a little irritated by rolling your eyes to the question when you know the reason why the people are saying this is because he does give out NDAs to everybody. So for you, it annoys you that people are saying that he gave you an NDA when this is what Anton does? Why does that bother you? And now for this guy to ask, why didn't you get one? Why are you different from everybody else? Why is there an exception for you? It's given privileges, but why? I'm just asking a question.
Why are you an exception?
I don't think I'm an exception because I don't ask, who's on an NDA. So I don't know.
But you know that other people
I have
are.
seen him, put people on NDA. But
so again, this is business, right? She wants us to believe that this whole situation with her and Anton is business. So he does business. On one breath, you don't know who's on the NDA, but you saw him put people on the NDA, on the NDA. I'm trying to understand. Is it me, y'all? Because to me, you're talking about both sides of your neck. Okay. How is it that you know all of this about these NDAs? Hey, Melanie, you know all of this about who NDAs, and he gives people NDAs, and it don't matter if the people work for him or he's doing an interview with him, they get an NDA, right? He's having these conversations with you. And while he's telling you this, you've seen it, according to you, you was around, you don't get one though. You don't get put on an NDA. Which is it? Is it business when it comes to you and him? Because why are you privileged to have information and seen him put people on NDAs, but at the same time, there's no personal situation that's going on when it comes to you and him? That is not professional, in my opinion. There is nothing professional about you witnessing him put people on NDAs. I'm just saying. Deborah says, did she do her homework on this interview? Because he really putting the right questions to her and she does not seem prepared. I think she thought she could run game on him. Here's the thing, Deborah. She knows this guy. She's worked with him before. So what I think is, in my opinion, she may have thought that he was going to go a little easy on her and that her privilege, again, whether being known, working with him and knowing him, or, being a pretty woman. I don't know what she thought. In my opinion, she wasn't ready for this interview because he's interviewing her the way he should. And like he does not know her at all. He's asking all of the right questions. And she was not prepared, in my opinion. This only made the situation worse. Anton told her who he has on NDA. Girl, what's the tea? That's what I'm saying. So you didn't witness him put people on NDAs, but you mean to tell me he ain't tell you who he put on the NDA? What? Yeah, she worked with him. Mm-hmm.
As far as staff go, I don't ask. It's almost like at your job, you don't go, well, what's your salary?
Oh,
what's your salary?
Oh no, they do.
Depending on who you're not supposed to.
They wouldn't ask me.
With HR, you're not supposed to.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with HR, the same way you're not supposed to. See how she uses certain situations to make it seem like, what she's saying or what has happened is okay. So with HR is not supposed to sit down with an employee and watch them put another employee on record for anything in reference to their work relationship. So if you're going to bring up HR, let's talk about HR in that Anton being a one-man show. You should not have been there to witness him put anybody on an NDA. That goes both ways.
But at the end of the day, I've never inquired to, the other hosts if they have it or not, because I really don't care.
Now, are you paid per episode?
No, I'm paid per month. Just
per month?
Yeah, like YouTube.
Wow. How much does he pay you?
The range. It depends because we bring in a lot of super chats, which is extra money that the audience gives.
And that's the way he makes the money for the show?
No.
Okay.
YouTube has AdSense and he has sponsorships, things like that. So all of that is factored in, plus anything that the audience gives as well.
Sure. So how much does he pay you? We were just talking about that range. Unless you want to specifically say how much. I'm
not going to give a specific
because that's the NDA characteristic.
No, that's my.
Or you want to protect him?
That's
so
my
then how
business.
Much?
That's my business mind sense because there are other people on that show. I do not know how much.
So then let's give a range, because a range doesn't pinpoint the range.
That's why I said I can do the range.
Yeah, sure.
You asked me to pinpoint.
Sure. What's the range?
So I can do a range of anywhere between 2 to maybe 35.
To what? I don't know. You said $2,
$2,000 to $35.
$2,000
to $35.
to $3,500 a month.
Correct.
Okay, for your role.
I'm only on that show. So there are some people that are on 5 days a week. There are some people that are on 1 day a week. And
let me tell y'all something. Girl, what's the you said 7,000. Anton normally has about, from when I've seen it, maybe 4 to 5 people on his show. So let's say at the most is 5 of them on there, and the maximum amount she says is 3,500. Okay. What she just did, she talked about HR in one breath, and in another breath, this guy then got her to admit to some things, and this can cause a problem for him and his situation, because she said that she's only on 2 days a week, and she's making from 2,000 to 3,500, right? So 3,500. I told y'all, she is giving a business, and if some of them people that's on 5 days a week and 4 days a week, who what I've seen give more input on that show, a lot of times, the times that I've seen it, and I haven't seen it, I can't say I've seen it every week or every month, but the times that I popped in to see what's going on, especially when some mess, has happened, I'll go over there to see what they're talking about, right? Let's see, 5 people. That's $17,500 for 5 people. If they get paid $3,500 a month, that's the maximum amount that she knows of, right? So if you giving from 2,000 3,500, my guess would be you have gotten paid the lowest amount, which is 2,000, and worked your way up to that $3,500. Because why would you give that figure? Why would you give that amount? What y'all say about that? Okay. The monthly pay, girl, what's the tea? I see you, girl. So because you just gave a range, now the people that's on there 5 days a week, let's use for an example. Let's say I was over there and I was on there 5 days a week, and I was only getting $2,000, but she just said he's, the range is from 2,000 3,500, and you're only on there 2 days a week, but I'm on 5 days a week. And you just talked about up to 3,500, and I'm getting paid $2,000. I'm gonna have a problem. Okay, there's gonna be a problem there. I wouldn't dare be over there, and I wouldn't take that amount either. But that's gonna be a problem. So all of this headache, all of this, your reputation being ruined, all of you being talked about all over YouTube, and your behavior towards him and everything else, and you being put under a microscope for $3,500 a month. But she comes from privilege. Okay, this is what she says about her family. This is how she talks about in the things that she's used to. For $3,500 a month, you went and put yourself in a space with a person that talks and behaves the way that Anton does for $3,500 a month. And this is why I'm talking about this more than anything, is because I want women to know and understand that this is not good for them. When I talk to the younger generation in my family, okay, when I'm talking to my nieces, one of the things I talk about is your reputation. Because especially for women, when it comes to women, especially Black women, your reputation can ruin you and your chances. And now the unknown woman that we knew nothing about is on YouTube fighting for her reputation to clear things up, because she chose to go and position herself with a man like Anton Daniels, knowing what he talks about. And on top of that, she's a conservative. And from my understanding, being a conservative woman, you had no business flying out and being alone with this man on any of those things. I'm just saying. Isn't she the same thing that the orange man is? Okay. And all the people, that's in his party. Would he let his wife fly out, since they love the Trump skin, they love him? Would he let his wife fly out to meet a man who has a one-man show and stay in the town and spend a night and fly out several times alone, never meet this man, never talk to this man. Is this what the Trump skin would do? I doubt it. And Anton wouldn't do it either. His wife would not be allowed to do this. Deborah says, yes, I have watched this panel, and the same people on the panel are pretty much on there 5 days a week, and they seem to be Deborah, way more sharper on the panel than her, and she may be making more money. Exactly. And if those people sitting on that panel, knowing that they're on 5 days a week, and this woman is getting, and I'm gonna say $3,500 because that's the maximum range, the range that she gave, right? She has gotten that $3,500. And that's probably was the range that she worked up to, in my opinion. And they're sitting over there for 5 days a week and not making that or more. And she's over there for 2 days a week. Child, bye. And yes, you are absolutely right, Deborah. When it comes to the other people on that panel, in my opinion, a lot more sharper. But let's go on.
And for me, I'm only on Thursdays and Fridays.
Okay. So Thursdays and Fridays, you make a good amount of money just for Thursdays and Fridays?
Correct.
Yeah. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of what's been out there. So I understand that Anton is married. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you're married?
Correct.
Correct. Have you met Anton's wife?
Yes.
How would you describe her?
She's when I say probably one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. That lady is probably one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Yeah. And has Anton met your husband?
In person, absolutely not.
He has not met him in person. Has he met him over the phone?
Why absolutely not, though? Do y'all find it strange that she said absolutely not? Why absolutely not? Why not? No, he hasn't met my husband. What does that imply? Absolutely not. Why? Child, let's go on.
Phone or in DM? What other form of introduction when you say not in person?
Because a lot of people assume that, when you have to see people, it has to be in person, or that if you don't meet them in person, then it's something or whatever. So
now I want you to pay attention to this. He asked her the question. She said, absolutely not. And then she said, a lot of people assume that you have to meet a person in person, or there's something else, basically something else going on. So she's leading with, just because he didn't meet, this will be my thought process. What she's saying is, just because my husband hasn't met him in person doesn't mean anything, because he has met him. He's talked to him over the phone. But watch what this man say when it comes to, he's going to clarify, because what she's doing, in my opinion, again, is spinning the answer to his question. But he done clocked her.
What's the form of communication? That he met your husband?
They don't have a form of communication where they talk back and forth.
Yeah. But you said he did not meet your husband in person.
No. Is
that to imply that he met him virtually?
No.
So he's never met your husband?
No.
And why is that?
No particular reason.
Sure.
Just I've never had to actually do anything where my husband was there, and so if he's there, like if my like when we work together, is here, so my husband's come here. But when we first met and worked together, we were in person as well.
Your husband came.
Yeah, but we were here. We were here in the DC area. Yes, my husband came.
Yes.
So again, if he was here, then yes. But most of my business dealings, and if not all, I usually have a manager or somebody else deal with that. So that's the reason why it's not a thing. But I talked to my husband about it.
How long have you and Anton been business partners or friends?
We're business partners. And
so you're not a friend, because I don't want to provide language that's inaccurate.
That's why I changed it.
Yeah.
We're business partners. Absolutely.
You're not friends?
No.
Okay.
Friends would imply that we hang outside of business.
Not necessarily.
Now let me stop it right there. When people first started talking about what Corey said in reference to her and Anton's relationship, Anton gets on his channel and he calls his wife Rita, right? And he asks Rita about Micca. What does she think about Micca? And Rita says, "Oh, I love Micca." Why? So Rita, and people said that it was rehearsed, and I believed it then, and I believe that answer was rehearsed even more now, because Rita's answer made it seem like her and Micca have this relationship and Anton is friends with them. Well, Micca just told us and clarified that they are not friends. They have a business relationship, and that is all. So why is his wife and Anton himself implying that they are, oh, we love her, we're close? They do not have a relationship. So you see how she is revealing things in reference to what Anton is putting out there and trying to make the audience believe. They do not have a relationship according to her. Somebody ain't telling the truth. Somebody is trying to make us believe something that ain't right. It's either you or Anton, because y'all not on the same page. So they do not have a relationship, a friendship, according to Micca. But according to Anton's wife, oh, I love Micca. What? All I'm saying, okay. No, they ain't friends, okay. Child. Girl was T says y'all do girl stuff. Girl was the T. You said they do got a relationship, huh? Well, that's what his wife made it seem like.
Well, yes, correct.
Yeah, like
outside of business.
Yeah,
correct.
like not we were, me and you were shooting here, and then we just get something to eat afterwards, but we are doing business.
Yes.
I'm saying, hey, are you up? Are you available today? Or you want to go out to the blah, blah, blah?
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Do you believe it was important at some point for you to introduce your husband to Anton?
Yeah. Because
I'm sure his wife thought it was important to meet you.
So I can't speak on what his wife thought.
Correct.
But the one time that I would have is when we had an event here, but he had to work. So, yeah. I mean.
But have you made it a concerted effort to make it happen? We do what we want to do, when we want to do it, for whom we want to do it for. And if something is really important to you and your family, either on your end as a wife, you absolutely make a concerted effort for this man, or
go ahead,
or Anton as a man says, I want to meet your husband just because you're married, and I don't want any messaging or anything else to be misconstrued by him or the public. So it's
now, this is what I don't agree with. Okay, let's talk about this part. He's putting it on Micca, which it is her responsibility, and then he says Anton should ask to meet the husband. In my opinion, because she is this conservative woman and the man is the head, this is their belief and all that, her husband should have been the one. Anton, in my opinion, does not look out for his own relationship and situation, what has happened, when it comes to his wife. Okay. So he does not owe her to have to be responsible to say, I want to meet your husband because, for whatever reason. This is between her and her husband, and being as though she's a married woman, her husband should have, in my opinion, because you want to meet my wife, because my wife is flying to this, this place that she's not familiar with, or should I say does not live. She's going here by herself. She's going to be staying. Her husband should have been the one to say, I need to meet this man. And they should have done their due diligence, her and her husband, to go and research who Anton is, what he does, what he says, what is his behavior, okay, when it comes to his content. In my opinion, they both, her and her husband, both have failed their relationship or the marriage, because him as the lead, these men want to talk about the husband's lead and all this other stuff. but he ain't leading nothing. You left your wife uncovered, unprotected. She's flying to a place by herself without you to meet a man you ain't never seen, don't know, ain't talked to, or any of this. And it was okay with you as a husband. What kind of protection is that? I want to know, okay? Because if I'm doing all of that and I'm married, I don't need to be married. I'm just saying. Her husband should have taken the lead on this. Before you go work for this guy, I don't know him. I need to sit down. Let me do some research and see who he is. I'm going to fly out with you. I want to have a conversation with him. This is just a potential meeting with y'all. I want to be there. And if that is a problem for him, then this business arrangement between you and him is not going to happen. Because again, she ain't desperate for money according to her, the way that she, puts out her perception or the perception she want to put out about, she's used to a certain level of comfort. Then why all of this for $3,500 a month and to be seen? Why? Even to the point that you was willing to go and sit over there with Corey Holcomb, who is Anton Daniels, but in another body and worse. So you again was willing to go and sit in a space with another man who, in my opinion, has no respect for women at all. But you have a husband. I'm not understanding this. I just don't understand at all. Do y'all understand this? Because I'm not understanding. I just don't get it. And now and again, she's on here fighting for her reputation. And where's her husband again? Why isn't her husband coming out and saying, look, this is my wife. We're married, ain't no situation, ain't nothing going on between my husband and Anton Daniels. I know, but it's nothing. But here she is again, standing by herself alone like a single woman. You know how they love to talk about single married women. Here she is again, standing alone by herself, defending herself, on social media, let's go.
Fair that I introduce myself. Has that conversation happened?
No, that conversation has not happened. And I understand what you're saying. My thing, again, my business dealings is normally with me, my manager, things like that. But it's not without my husband knowing. So everything that I do, every place that I go, everything that I'm going to be doing, my husband knows. And I have to actually talk about it with him, tell him what I'm doing, things like that.
How did you reassure your husband this was strictly business? Like if my wife is flying to another state, because at some point I'm going, or I need to meet this person in person. And it doesn't matter to me if he's single or married. It doesn't matter to me if he feels that he wants to meet me. I want my wife to be very committed and loyal to the idea of her business engagements. I should be comfortable with as a husband. Do you understand?
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
Sure.
But my thing is, I think a lot of people sometimes misconstrue is this. You guys separate for some reason, independent from like big conglomerates, right? So if there's a person that has a business,
sure, it
automatically changes from if Disney calls you, right? Because there have been other things that I have done as far as movie sets and other things that my husband has not gone to.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody would bat an eye if I'm talking to the director or if I'm going to meet, for a shoot for this or that. Your spouse is not always coming. And so I think the notion that just because is this person, and I understand that people have their own thoughts and perceptions of people, but I think a lot of the times when it comes down to people who are in independent media, they think it's more of a personal level, and still it's business.
Yeah. But I think what people may feel befuddled or confused by is at some point you put the business aside when rumors are brewing, when images are plastered all over social media.
Now you're talking about a year later.
Okay, so before a year later, let me ask you this.
Let me say this, even before the situation happened with Corey. See, it's just a lot of truth not being spoken. Before the situation happened with Corey, people were already talking about her relationship with Anton. And maybe this guy here at Orlando, I believe his name is Orlando, he doesn't know that. I'm gonna say the host, maybe he doesn't know that. But people were already speculating and talking about her relationship with Anton. Even on his show, the people over there who was a part of the panel would talk about how he was always protecting her when it came to certain things that they were talking about. So there has always been a level of an appearance of that something has been going on with her and Anton. So that is not true what she is saying. So how are you so aware of everything that the people have said, everything else, but you mean to tell me you was never aware of the rumors that people were saying about you and Anton before the Corey Holcomb situation? Not true. I'm not on the panel, okay? I don't even really be in his chat. Like, I don't be, comment in the chats. I have been over there in the bushes and I have seen it firsthand. This has always been something that was put out from the time that she got on there and the people saw their interaction together. So to say a year later, not true. You chose to not address it, and he chose to not address it, but you all will act and communicate in a way that fed into the narrative that something was going on. And now, because Corey Holcomb, who has this huge platform, said what he said about you, okay, and it reached a bigger audience, now you trying to go and do damage control. You should have been doing damage control from the very beginning when this was first put out. But you didn't. And so what I believe, and just my belief, is because of Corey Holcomb's and his platform, this was put out to the world. Okay, even though Anton has a huge platform, I think Corey reaches a different level of people and different spaces because he's a comedian that's well known in certain spaces, and his platform is being watched by other people, in other spaces. And now this has been shown to her husband and her family members, what Corey said about her. And from my understanding, Corey still hasn't apologized. Yes, girl, what's the tea? Yes. Right. Corey put it all the way on front. He did. And now you're trying to do damage control.
There ever been a concern from your husband about your business relationship with Anton?
My business relationship, absolutely not.
My business relationship, absolutely not. Sometimes I don't understand the answers. My business relationship, absolutely not. So is there another relationship he was concerned about? Am I reading into this the wrong way? Because why specify my business relationship? Absolutely not. No, I would have said no. My husband's not concerned about any type of relationship when it comes to me and Anton. But again, this is how she answered the question. So,
because one, he can watch it. Like, he can literally sit there and watch it. And then two, if he has a concern or anything he wants to know, I just tell him.
Has he ever been incredulous? Skeptical?
What?
Yeah. Has he been with your flying out there, or depending on how long you stay, or just the mere fact that I never even met this person? Has he just had that sort of incredulity, if you will, about not meeting your male business partner?
So I think he would like to be, more involved with coming out there, but again, and you know what my husband does for a living,
Sure.
so it's not feasible.
No, it's feasible because here's how I see it. If Anton has to get on an airplane and come and meet your husband out of respectability, then that's what a man does.
If that
so
was
it's feasible.
Let's stop it right there. So I'm glad that he clocked this answer that she gave. You know what my husband does, so it's not feasible. When a man is concerned about you, husband, boyfriend, whatever, and he's supposed to cover you, he is going to make the time to make sure that he meets one man show, okay, business, to make sure that you are covered. This is, again, the reason why I talk about these situations, because I think sometimes women don't recognize this, okay? If I don't feel covered, we're done. We are done, okay? If I got to do it by myself and run around by myself and all this and feel like I'm not covered, we're done. So her husband came to meet this guy because he's here, okay, in the DMV area. So he went the bare minimum to meet this guy. And when he came to meet you, remember when he met you? Because I told you she's done business with him, right? That's easy because he's here. He should have been more concerned with meeting someone that was in a different state that he's never met, never talked to, okay, don't know nothing about. His concern, he should have been more concerned to go with her over to, this other state to meet this man than what he was concerned with meeting somebody here. Now I'm saying they should have been, to me, equally. He should have been equally concerned. But if there was something that you should have been concerned about, absolutely, he should have went there. And the one thing that men will show you, they will show you how they feel about you by what they do. I don't care what they say out their mouth. And yes, Deborah, she's playing games. To say that it's not feasible, why isn't it? I don't care what his business is. You mean to tell me he sleep and eat and gotta work all day, every day? Again, that's your husband, and that situation to me would have never happened without me meeting this one man show.
I was talking about feasible for if anytime I have to get up and go do something.
That's not what he was talking about. So you exactly, Deborah, this is where the game plan come. I was talking about feasible. Every time I get up to do something, he have to be there. That's not the question he asked her. He was talking about meeting Anton. Not every time you get up to go do business, but when it came to your business relationship with Anton, your husband has never talked to, never met, never seen, shook a hand, no nothing with a man that's in a different state that you've been in business with for over a year. Make it make sense. It don't.
And it's not just with
I know
Anton.
that because your husband hasn't always been on the show when we were doing something. So I get that.
Correct. And
Yep.
so that's what I mean by it's not always feasible. But if it was to that point where he wanted to have, Anton do something, or if it was, well, I want to go,
Sure.
that would have been fine.
Yeah.
But it's never I don't, how should I say it? I don't give a, I need to hide this, or it's just.
You need to hide this because this whole situation with your husband has been hidden. And when she talked to Tasha K, she talks about this. Tasha asked her about the situation, why this man is on your social media page and your husband isn't. So you are hiding the fact that you're married. You went out your way to protect your husband, according to what she said on that interview. So to say you're not you don't give that you're hiding something, you must mean when it comes to your husband, but you absolutely are hiding because you don't want to answer basic questions when it comes to your husband. Tasha had to ask her several times about her husband for her to say that her husband is African. Let's go on.
I just really feel that because this is independent, that we are not looking at it as business, because
what is independent?
Because this is okay, so this is your business here.
Sure.
I can talk to you directly instead of having to talk to 1,001 people to get to you.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
With that, it's still a business, but I can talk directly to you. So I can talk directly to Anton. So being that I can talk directly to Anton, I think people get a sense of that, well, because you can do that, then now it's something more happening if you go meet with this person.
Yeah.
Versus looking at it still the same. Yeah, this is not a big corporation, but this is still business, and this is still a person that is going to be employing me, contracting me, whatever. That still has to happen. If I was flying to Disney has to pay for my room and board. Yeah. Disney has to do this, that, and the third. And so again, I think because it's a singular person that is easily accessible per se.
That's right. Yep.
Now it's a different notion. Well, this must be for this, instead of looking at it as business.
So let's call a thing, if you will. And I want to really drive it home. Mm-hmm. Has Anton ever flirted with you?
Flirted with me as a sense of what? Naturally?
No.
Before she answers this question, because again, it's the acting like I don't know what you're asking. Okay, but you are very smart and intelligent, and you have a podcast and you cover everything. But somehow when he asking this question, you don't really know what he's saying. But before we go there, let me say this. She compared this guy's business, right? He has a business. He knows what you're talking about, to Anton having a business and people saying it differently. But your husband went to meet him. He's here. So your husband went out of his way to meet this guy. And this guy, according to him, he has a business, but he has other people. Okay. He has people that film for him. So he's not a one-man show. Her husband still went to meet this guy, where he has not done the same when it comes to Anton. That's the reason why it looks this way, because Anton is a one-man show. So why couldn't he go and meet with Anton? Again, this is on her. This is not on Anton, and I don't care for Anton, but that's not on Anton to do, because her husband should be the one who have said, let me go with you to meet this man to make sure that you are okay. You, my wife, I want you to be protected. If that is a problem, then we have a problem. He should have taken a lead. And this is what, a lot of times it's talked about when it comes to, women being married to men. So they want to lead and want to cover, but that's what they say they want. But then they don't lead and they don't cover. Which is it? What do you want? I mean, I'm just saying, but let's go on. Let's hear her answer to this.
Just naturally, like we're sitting here, or because I'm gonna explain.
Well, I don't want to get into wordsmithing.
No, there's no wordsmithing.
Okay.
The reason why I'm asking,
because then I want to talk about some pictures too.
No, yeah, okay. I got you. But the reason why I'm asking is because there's two different things, right? So Anton does things for content, and then there's things that Anton will do if we're just sitting here.
Okay.
So if you're saying personally, if me and Anton was just sitting here, no. Now, if you're talking about for content, when we're doing the virtual rooms and things for the show, Anton has said multiple things. So that's why I asked, which one are you talking about?
So let me hear a few of the multiple things that he said that was a flirt.
What people would consider if he's, saying,
not people, what you considered as a flirt.
I would say probably if he's like, oh, Micca, you're so sweet, or you're so cute, right? But the problem that I have with it is because I know he's doing it for content, right? And he's not actually talking to me. However, I will say what I probably should have paid more attention to is the fact that people take content as real life instead of.
because content can be real life. So two things are happening right here to me. Okay, again, talking on both sides of your neck. In one sense, you say, this is business, right? Was business, and was there a conversation where you and him sat down and he said, I'm going to talk to you this kind of way on screen, but I'm not going to talk to you. This is just for the show. Because then if that's the case, what you're doing is calling Anton out and revealing that the things that he says on the show is just for the show and he's a fraud. That's because look, either it's him, it is who he is, or it's not. He's performing, he's an actor. That's what she's saying to me. Do y'all get that? Because if you're saying to us it's two different things, he does not talk to you like this when you're not on camera, but he talks to you when you're on the podcast for the sake of pretending, for shock value. Because this is what people have been saying, and people use the word grifter when it comes to him, because they're saying that what he does and how he's showing up and his behavior on screen is not really who he is, although Anton said that is exactly who he is. And if that is the case, again, there's a contradiction between what you are saying and what Anton is saying. Because if Anton is saying that's who he is, that's how he operates, I am this way and this is me, that means that if he's doing that on camera, he's doing that off camera when nobody's watching. But then Micca is telling us something totally different from what Anton is saying. Who's telling the truth? She's saying that this is all performative. He does this on screen for the audience, but off screen, he doesn't do this. He doesn't talk to me this way. He's very respectful, very professional, all those things. So my question would be that if it's true what she's saying, and you are so, this is a business, did you have this conversation with him that this is how he runs his business? When you women get on screen with me, I'm going to say whatever I want to say. I'm going to be inappropriate. I'm going to say you beautiful. I'm going to say all kinds of things. This is how I run my business. Do you agree? Okay, sign this, because you're a contractor, right? This is what we agree to. And then did you have this conversation with your husband, since you say your husband know everything that you do? You discuss it all with him. Did you talk to your husband and sit down and say, look, babe, this is what's going to happen. When we get on screen, he's going to be a little inappropriate. He's going to tell me how beautiful I am and how Micca looking gorgeous. She was looking gorgeous too. Did you have this conversation to inform your husband that this man is going to be talking to you as if you're a single woman, and this is all for your paycheck? I'm just saying. That's all I want to know. Because which is the truth? They can't both be true. Somebody ain't telling the truth. You or Anton. What y'all think? Who y'all think telling the truth?
Just content, right? Because I come from a world where I know entertainment is entertainment, and people say this and that, with reality shows, all of that is just for entertainment. And then they go, the cameras cut off, and they don't really hate each other. They talk to each other.
But has he said those things to you privately?
No, and that's why I asked
it's all been on the show?
Yes, that's why I asked you the difference. And that's why I wanted to make that distinction. Because if I just said, he said this word, you would probably think it's just because we're sitting here. That's why I said, no, he has done it for content while we're all, and mind you, he says it to not just me, other women on the panel.
And how did you feel when a married man said that to a married woman?
Again, at first, because you don't understand,
who doesn't
content,
understand?
Meaning, well, I'm talking about myself.
Yeah.
So again, being on YouTube, when you don't understand certain bounds of YouTube panels and things like that, people on panels say all types of egregious stuff or whatever to get reactions from the crowd, right? And so you might personally take stuff a certain way when they were just doing it as a reaction to get people in the crowd.
And so how did you feel?
I didn't feel a certain way. I didn't say anything because I was a little off-putted. But once I understood what he was trying to do, I'm like, okay, well, you can't say this and that and the third. It's okay if you're like, okay, I have beautiful women on my panel. That is fine, right? Because
So again, evading the answer, okay, evading the question, you do feel some type of way because you said you talked to him and told him you can't say this, that, and the third. So you did feel some type of way about what he was saying, because why address it? You also said you didn't understand and it was off-putting. Doesn't you saying it was off-putting mean that you felt a way about it, that it was uncomfortable for you when he said it? You even had a conversation, according to you, and told him he can't say this, that, and the third. Whatever this, that, and the third was, you had a conversation, told him certain things he cannot say to you on camera. So in one sense, you wanted to tell us that it's all for the cameras. And then in the other sense, you want to tell us that you had a problem with it, but you kept showing up for $3,500 a month when you are used to upper echelon, okay, treatment. Let me tell you something. You couldn't give me $10,000 a month to sit on that daggone panel with him. If this is your lane, this is your expertise, you could have came on YouTube and got it out the mud like the rest of us, especially for the simple fact that it's not a money issue for you, according to the way that you know, what you put out, what you want us to believe. You could have learned all of this. You have a manager. Okay, I ain't got no manager. I had a person that was assisting me at one point on my other channel, but y'all know I'm very, outspoken about what's going on, and I'm gonna reveal to you what the truth is. When I shut down that channel, started this new page, I don't have no need for anybody to assist me when it comes to me teaching people YouTube, right? But if I let it grow back to the level that it was, I would get an assistant, and she was only part-time. But you have a manager that manages all these things. So where was the manager, and what conversation was being had with you being on this platform with this person that is, according to you, he's doing it for the eyes of the public, but this is not really who he is? I don't understand. Deborah says, I do not believe her. Neither do I, Deborah. Girl, what's the T says, after they left Corey, didn't Anton say Micca was looking? He said she was looking good. That's what he said. That's what he said, girl. What's the T? Lies. They were not on that podcast. But Anton does not speak to the other ladies on the panel in a flirty manner. Well, Deborah, that's what she just said, okay? She said he say that all the, he say this to everybody. He talked to everybody that way. That's what she said, okay? I mean, I don't know if I don't get it, because people have seen this podcast who really follow and watch his podcast all the time, who have been watching him before he was even turned to this, whatever this room 9 is name. Okay. So people are very much aware of what goes on over there, but let's go on.
People can acknowledge that people look nice and things like that, but it's when it becomes personalized that it looks funny to the audience.
How does his wife feel? Has his wife, Rita, ever expressed to you her disdain, or have you heard her discuss something with him about her disapproval of saying that to you on a show? Even because
go ahead.
Well, let me just say this just before you answer. I think there's a line you draw in the sand when I say something because it's content. So I'm producing content here. I'm doing a show. And if I say to you, knowing your husband, wow, you look so beautiful and you're so gorgeous, boy, I wish we could probably just go for a nice drink. That's disrespectful.
Yeah, but he's never said that to me.
Yeah, but
totally different.
He may not have used my words. I'm just saying.
No, he's never done that. Period. Like, oh, well, let's go for it.
But he's called you beautiful.
Yes.
And gorgeous.
Yes.
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 On the show.
Yes.
And to you, that's not a problem. Because it's happened more than once.
Correct.
And I'm not trying to make it a problem.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Sure.
Let me answer your question. So yes, he said beautiful, gorgeous, whatever. But there's not like, well, I want to take you to the whatever, or let's do this and this and that. And it's just,
well, he's taking you somewhere. Let's look at this picture. You guys were at a game when you said he wanted to take me somewhere. Now, I'll be honest. When I saw this picture, I was flabbergasted.
Why?
Because
wait.
Sure.
So go back to what you were saying, because you can't intertwine the two. So you were asking,
sure,
was he expounding on
flirt,
on the certain type of things that he says? And we were talking about him saying it's beautiful, whatever, but not expounding in that way.
Yes.
Now, what is your question that you're asking now? Because
I think I asked it, was it disrespectful? Did you feel that it was disrespectful? And I think you answered it by saying no, because you realize that it's content and people do these shows and they say things. And you also clarified it by saying outside of the show, that has never happened. Would that be correct, what I heard?
Right. But you use the hook at the end to say, well, he's taking you somewhere.
Well, I think you said something, and we can probably roll it back in post-production. You said something about when we go places or he takes me somewhere. And that's what made me say.
So what I said was he's not adding on to the beautiful or gorgeous, saying, dang, you're so gorgeous that I want to take you to the whatever so we can do this.
And I thought we clarified that, because I said those are my words. That's what I said. And you did say he doesn't say that.
No.
Right. And I didn't want to put words in his mouth, but I wanted to be clear. So let's go to the picture.
Okay.
Tell us about this. How did this happen?
So this was the day that we did the interview. So the show did an interview, or just you and him?
I want y'all to take note on something, right? Let me see if I can zoom in. Hold on. Can I zoom in here? Okay. I can't zoom in. Can y'all see this picture good? Can y'all see it real good? Hold on. Let me screenshot it so I can show you this. Give me just a second. I want to show you something. Okay. Y'all look at the picture. I don't know if you can see it real good so you can see what I see. Give me just a second, because I saw this and I thought it was interesting, right? Give me a second. Keep looking at the picture. Actually, I'm going to play it while you looking at it while I'm doing this.
This is my interview day.
The first day? Oh, wow.
So this is my interview day, because you can go and you can see the outfits, the same outfit. Same everything. Now, what he is doing here is he had already a business meeting set up there. So there is.
That's what he told you.
No,
correct?
That's what happened.
No, I'm not saying that's what he told you as if that was a cake bake. He told you he had a business meeting and you were invited.
No.
Okay.
So again, back there, probably like on the first level there is a area where if you have, your high roller seats and things like that, you I don't know what they call it there in Detroit, but here in DC, they call it maybe the Ultra Club and things like that, where all the people that have club seats, things like that. Yeah. You have, of course, conference rooms, other things up there. And back there is where he had his meetings. He met a couple of high profile people. They were talking about sponsorships. They were talking about interviews, a whole lot of stuff.
No, I still don't think you answered the question. What I'm trying to get at.
What was I doing?
Now, let me show you something. They're talking about, this is when she flew out to meet him, right? And they had their meeting, and then he invites her to this game that's supposed to be business. He's supposed to have a business meeting with some, very important people, high level or whatever. And this wasn't her hanging out with him because it was personal. We just gonna hang out and chill at the game. This was business. Remember, this is what she said. Now, let me show you something. Because, see, she wasn't ready for this. Do y'all notice what I noticed? Put in the comments if you notice what I noticed. Do y'all notice what I noticed, or do y'all want me to tell y'all? Girl with T says, "Why are you there?" She said, "Why are you there?" Yes, Deborah. Yes. Maybe it's the way that the camera is shown, but yeah. Cause sometimes look, I wasn't there. Maybe it's the opposite hand, but from what I'm saying, yeah, I did notice that. Mm-hmm. Okay. So according to her, let me go ahead and finish what
Yeah.
she was saying.
How did, because I said he had a business meeting and
Correct.
invited you,
Correct.
and you said no. So you didn't fall out the sky. They didn't open up the dome and you came down on a harness into the meeting. So what I'm saying is
hold on. Ask your actual question.
So this is what I'm saying. The interview is over. The one-on-one interview is over, correct?
Correct.
What does the conversation sound like to invite you to come here?
Okay.
Because I said you were invited and you said no.
Okay. So no, that's not what I said. But
we're going to play it back.
Nevertheless, so again, he had business meetings there, and he said, well, I got a couple meetings at the game, and these people I think will be good for you to meet. I said, sure.
And you were the only one from the team that went, or were there other people? I know you were on the interview.
I wasn't at a team then.
No, I'm saying the interview was his staff, his production. Like you have camera people, producers, etc. So the production is over. Did he not only apprise you that he was going and invited you? Were there other production people?
Well,
because we all have gone out together after production.
Correct.
Yes.
Well, again, you have production people and everything, all that other good stuff. Anton does everything himself.
Yes.
And I do mean all of it. Unless sometimes, like if he has something else going on, there may be another person there because they maybe have to help him with something else. But if it's only like one thing that he's doing outside of his own videos,
sure,
it's only him.
So his wife wasn't there.
Which makes it even more of a problem, okay? The fact that he is a one-man show, this is why I said the millionaire, is a one-man show, which makes the situation looks even worse. Let me get this guy's YouTube so you all can subscribe, because I'm planning on watching some other his other content, because I really did enjoy his interview. So I'm interested in seeing what other content he has. Here's his link. Y'all know I like to share. Hold on, give me a second. I like to share any content that I'm talking about. Okay, this is the link and the channel name. This is the channel name. Give me a second, y'all. Sorry about that. I meant to do this in the beginning to put him on here so that he can get recognition for this interview. This was a great interview. It exposed a lot. It did, to me, it cleared up nothing. It made the situation worse. He was asking all the right questions, and he wasn't baiting her. He was asking the questions to clarify what people have been talking about, and she, in my opinion, made herself look worse, and it just made it appear more like what people have been saying, and her situation with Anton is what it is. That's what it looked like to me. So his channel is called Talks Perspective. That is the link. If you all want to go and subscribe to his channel, because he did an excellent job with this interview. Give me a second so I can take this off the screen and we can hear some more.
And this one, though.
Right. So you flew out for an interview.
Mm-hmm.
You went to his studio or place of production.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all did an interview, and it's just you guys. Correct.
So I flew to Detroit, got to the hotel, okay, got to the studio.
He booked a hotel for you, the location.
Correct.
Okay.
Got to the studio. His wife came past the studio. That's when I first met her.
Sure.
But she did not stay.
Okay. Let me ask you this, and I'm not trying to be too investigatory, but it gives foundation. How far is the hotel from the studio and from his home, if you knew that?
I've never been to his home. So
well, you don't have to go to a person's home.
You said from his home, so
yeah.
I don't know.
You don't know that. Okay, fair enough. From the studio. Give or take 5, 10, 15 minutes or more.
I say maybe 10 or 15.
Okay, 10 or 15. So then he says...
It's all downtown.
It's all downtown. So he says, hey, I got this business meeting. I'm going to this game. Would you like to go with me? And obviously you said yes, because you weren't forced into going.
I got this game. I got this meeting.
I had this meeting. Okay, so if I'm looking at this picture, are you all on the floor at a basketball game?
Correct, that's the floor.
Okay, at a basketball game.
Correct.
So you went to a basketball game. Did you watch the game?
No, this picture right here, we probably sat on this court maybe 10 minutes.
Oh,
we
I
were
see.
In
so,
the back.
So a meeting and then y'all just went on the floor to take a picture.
No, we just went on the floor and we sat there maybe 10 minutes. And then they had their,
sat there 10 minutes to watch a game for 10 minutes?
He wanted to see a little bit of the game. Sat there maybe about 10 minutes. The quarter ended, went right back to the back.
Okay, and was his wife invited with you guys to the business meeting?
I don't know if she was invited or not.
Was she there?
If she was there, no.
She was not there. Okay. In that moment, did you feel awkward?
No, because I was there for a meeting.
But you had nothing to do with the meeting, right?
Let me finish.
Sure.
I was there for a meeting, right? So he's already having his business dealings, whatever he's going to do. You're in business, you're in this crowd.
Sure.
You absolutely understand that there are networking opportunities. If I know so-and-so and I bring you with me and so-and-so sees you, you can make networking opportunities. And you also know that it does not happen in a vacuum. It does not happen in offices.
Correct.
It does not happen. You can be at the golfing, you can be at the NBA games, all types of things. So again, kind of like just like the thing we were talking about with it just being the fact that it's just that person that is the business entity. I also think that when people don't know business or people have never experienced what it's like to network, especially with people.
When I tell you, honey, the spin, okay, she can spin to the point where if you don't catch it, she'll have you dizzy. So now she wants to say when people are not used to business and don't understand networking, as if you're not talking to people that have done business. A lot of people understand networking. And for those of us who do, this still does not make any sense. And to me is inappropriate. First of all, this was the first time you met him. You flew out to meet with him, whatever business y'all was having. You're already in a city that by yourself, without your husband, no one. You meet this man, you stay for however many days. She didn't say how many days she stayed either. And after this meeting, he invites you to a business meeting that, again, like what happened with Corey, these people did not know you was coming, or the initial plan was that he was meeting with these people, but not you. To me, you was arm candy. It was the persona of what he was trying to show. Now, it's interesting let me show you what girl was the T said girls. Well, the T says he wanted people to know that he booked her a gorgeous hotel and he took care of her real good. Girl, what's the T? Booked and paid. Anton bragged about it on the interview. So again, quit playing on our intelligence. Exactly, Deborah. A lot of us have been in spaces, where we're doing business with high level people, Congress people. Okay. Sometimes the president comes. She's in this city where the president shows up to different types of events. Okay. Congress people are all up and down and around here. I'm sure a lot of people that have seen this is right here. So to, like you say, Deborah, try to play on our intelligence, only makes you look the way people are perceiving this situation, right? Because I don't think people understand, that it doesn't happen in a vacuum, that people networking. We do understand. What we don't understand is how you worked for somebody for over a year who has never talked to, never met your husband, never been introduced, or any of that. That's what we don't understand. What we also don't understand is why you had no covering from your husband and you are this conservative. Why wasn't you given the same covering for your husband that Anton supposedly gives to his wife? Why? What I don't understand is I'm coming to you for a meeting. Let's say I go on an interview, and then at that interview, the person I'm interviewing with wants to then invite me out to a business situation that they already have, and I got to go to this arena where there is a game. I'm not going. I came to have a meeting with you for, I would say, an interview or whatever it was, because it's our first time meeting, and we go from this interview to now I'm going with you to this other business meeting. So he knows nothing about you, just meet you for the first time, and the first thing he wants to do is put you in an environment with other people that he's doing business with, when he don't really know nothing about you other than what you say he saw of you on social media. None of it makes sense. That's what we don't understand. She's speaking to a smart man who knows business. Exactly. This man knows. And he also knows that, yeah, something ain't right. If she has a manager, why did she not know she was not on Corey's show? Her manager should have cleared that up with Anton. Exactly, girl, was Deborah, I'm sorry. Girl, was T says they were also low-key flirting with each other on that interview as well. Exactly. On the interview, it was inappropriate. So again, she says she has a husband. This guy says he met her husband. People say they married and they ain't really married, okay? But he claims he knows him. He's seen him. And one of the things that he will mention, that her husband is a really, really nice guy. Which in Anton words, in the red pill community, if this guy has allowed her to do the things, because they use the words allowed, honey. I don't believe in allowed. I believe that, we have a conversation. I'm grown, you grown. We're going to, communicate with each other and we'll come to a common agreement. But according to the red pill sector, if he allowed her, because this is who Anton is, allowed her to do all these things with Anton, then that would make him a what? And that would make her a what? Because you have displayed the very things that Anton seems to despise when it comes to women. And now you over here fighting for your reputation. Child, bye. Girl, what's his T said? Oh, she said it was low K. Chan Young says she must be desperate if she is flirting with, child. If she flirting with Anton, honey, something ain't right.
That are upper echelon, they don't understand that these things don't happen in just offices. These things don't happen in a particular place. So there are a lot of high rollers and business people. Like there were people there that were part of the NBA.
Sure.
The guy that owns the actual arena.
Yeah.
All there.
Yeah.
All the mayor, like all there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
See, she gives me groupie. I'm impressed with people who are well known, who have this perceived status, right? And he's sitting here like, yeah, he's not impressed at all. And neither am I. I'm not going to put myself and my reputation at risk and be seen as something that I'm not, because I want to be in a space, in an environment with these so-called upper echelon people. Because what did that get the women that was hanging out with the two people that have been put behind the clink that we still talking about? What has that gotten women who have been in spaces with these high echelon people, like she's talking about, trusting them and being in their spaces. What has happened to women a lot of times when they trust people and put themselves in these spaces with these people? Because see, money doesn't give you safety. Because a person has money, that doesn't guarantee you safety. A lot of times it puts women more at risk, because these people at this level can do what they want a lot of times and get away with it. But she's very impressed and seems to be, almost groupie like when she's talking about these situations, so much so that she's basically trying to tell the rest of us, we don't understand what it's like when you're around these people and you have to network, and it doesn't always happen in a vacuum or in an office and all these other kind of things. So on one hand, you want us to understand, that I'm doing business and it's only business. And on the other hand, you are making it seem like the people are not on a certain level to understand basic things when it comes to business. This is basic networking. It's basic. Child, I can't. And you know what? Let me go on here. I just love being on here with y'all. So I'm just going to stay on here and play this nonsense so we can talk about it, because I do really think that women need to really be careful in who it is that they choose to go and share space with, especially when you're women of color, because you're going to be seen a different type of way. And what I believe with Micca is seen as one of the preferences because, she's racially ambiguous, because she's light, I'm consider a light-skinned woman too. And I understand this and know this. And what she wants us to believe is that Anton chose her because of her mind, because of her business savvy, because of, the arena, the things that she covered, because, of the business. He did not choose her because of her looks and because of, her body. That's what she wants us to believe. He chose her because of her mind. And I don't care if you're light, dark, brown, green, or purple. As a woman, men will try to put themselves in a position, not all men, but a lot will try to put themselves in a position so that they can get what they want and benefit from you as a woman. Y'all know what I'm saying. Okay, I ain't trying to get graphic on here, but you get what I'm saying. And especially when you can make them look better. When you look at Anton and you look at Micca and his wife is beautiful. She's a beautiful woman. Okay. But why not have your wife with you to go to this business meeting? You're a married man. Why not take your wife? Micca could have went home and you could have told your wife, hey, honey, I'm going to go to this business meeting. When I finish this meeting with Micca, we're going to go over here and we're going to meet with some people that I'm potentially going to do business with, or people that I'm doing business with. I want you to come and go with me. Why not your wife? Why a woman that you just met? Don't know nothing about her. Because in my opinion, there was a certain perception that he wanted to put out there when it came to Micca. And Micca played into this the whole time. And what has happened is, what my grandmother used to say, you lay down with dogs, you get up with fleas. You play with the devil, you're going to have to sell your soul. And right now, what is happening is she's in a situation that she's trying to fight herself out of, because remember, she still has a YouTube channel. So you're going to be known on YouTube, whether you like it or not, as something unfavorable that you say you are not, because you chose to be in a space with a person that clearly showed he had no protection or concern when it came to women. But let's go on.
The former man.
The former man, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the difference, and you know this because we've worked together.
Mm-hmm.
I go back to how critical it is for the male that you're working with, particularly when it's sort of independent and we are being seen and these sort of pictures come about. It's important to meet and know your husband And I'm not saying he isn't a man of character because I don't know Anton. And I'm not here to vilify him. I'm just going based off how things look and what the concerns have been in the public.
I can understand, but that's why I don't mind. That's why I don't mind talking about it, because there's nothing nefarious that I ever had going on. And again, I never do anything unless my husband knows.
So your husband knew that you were going to this business meeting.
My husband knew that I was where I was.
No, that's not. Let's be very clear with language. So I want to be clear with my question.
Okay.
Did your husband know that after the show, the interview was over, you were going to a basketball, not a basketball, you were going to a meeting at an arena where a basketball game was?
I don't remember if I told him before or after, but I did tell my husband. Mm-hmm.
Okay, you told him. But
of course.
When you say you don't.
So how do you tell your husband before that you're going? First of all, how do you not remember what you told your husband when you're being seen and you're in a different city with a man that you don't know? How do you not remember what you told your husband? That's the first thing. Second thing is, how do you tell your husband that before? How do you tell him before? Unless you tell him the very minute that Anton asked you after this meeting, because otherwise you did not know before you went there that he was going to invite you to this event. According to you, you didn't know, so you could not have told him before you left to go meet with Anton. You could not have told him about it because you didn't know about it. That's what you said, right? The conversation went after the meeting. He asked you, he said he was going to go to this business meeting. Did you want to go? That's when he told you. So you would have had to either call him in that moment when the interview was over, or you would have had to tell him after you went, or you didn't tell him nothing and he didn't know. I'm just saying. I'm trying to understand.
Don't remember
meaning
before
like,
or after.
Meaning like,
is it fair to say you told him after?
No, it's not fair.
Because how do you not remember that? Because
I don't remember everything about that day.
No, but you're a married woman who goes, and I want to be fair to you, but I want us
because to me, everything that I'm doing is business. So again,
but a married woman doesn't forget if she told her husband she went somewhere before or after.
No, you're trying to pinpoint a time frame, and I'm telling you, I don't remember my time frame.
Not a time frame.
I tell my husband everything. So yes, I did, and I posted this. This is my picture.
Yes.
So again, if I was trying to hide it, if I didn't want my husband to know it, I would have never posted.
So you think posting it makes you innocuous?
No, I'm telling you that I don't hide anything. I have nothing to hide. And so if I wanted to hide something from my spouse, I would have never.
Let's look at the next picture. I thought the next picture was really, really interesting. And in this next picture.
But wait, why are you leaving that one? Why are you leaving? Why are you leaving that one?
What is there more you want to expound?
No, but okay. It's something that you want to expound on, because
you said why I'm leaving that picture to go to the next one? Mm-hmm. Because I felt like you gave clarity. What I heard you say was it wasn't a basketball game I was invited to. Correct. I was invited to a business meeting.
Correct.
I heard you say I went for an interview, and after the interview, I was asked and I accepted the offer. Okay. I heard you say that I apprised my husband, or you told your husband this is where you were going. You couldn't remember if it was before or after, but either way, your husband knew. And a final thing you said was you posted the picture.
Correct.
I have nothing further. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Next picture. I was flabbergasted by this picture.
Okay, tell me why.
Because there's no way my wife would be physically touching, leaning on a married man, leaning on a single man, leaning on another man in a way that suggests I'm feeling you, I like you. This is really some sort of.
Why do you think that says I'm feeling you?
Even if it doesn't say I'm feeling you, I don't want my wife.
Why do you think?
Yeah.
Why do you think that suggests that I'm I'm feeling you because
Okay, let's
hold on,
omit
hold on. No,
feel,
no,
so
hold
we
on.
don't
The
get
reason
stuck
why
on
I'm
that
asking
word.
you,
Okay.
the reason why I'm asking you is I have tons of pictures of our former co-hosts
Yep.
with the same lean, everything.
But here's the difference.
Hold on.
Yes.
And that person is also a male. All right. And we have a working relationship and it's the same exact type of picture.
But here's the disrespect. Here's the disrespect. This is a married man that you are physically leaning into.
I'm not leaning into.
That to me,
I'm not leaning into.
To me, let me, and
space there.
Here's my perspective of it.
Is she leaning into him? Y'all tell me, what does it look like to you all? Business doing what? What people of substance in Detroit are doing business with? Ooh, you could drink in that water saying, I want to leave. Terry, you say, what is wrong with her? I don't know. Is she leaning into him? I just want your opinion. How do you all feel about it? Because I do see it as a leaning into. You're very comfortable. You have both arms on him, right? Let me make this bigger. On him. Your hands are on each other and you have your upper body leaned on this man. Right? I don't think this is something that will be acceptable for Anton's wife. I don't believe for 1 second he would have been okay with this. He would have saw it as appropriate. If he had put this on his YouTube channel and he was talking about somebody he did not know, if this was a woman that he was talking about that was a married woman and she was shown on a picture with a man like this, he would say all kinds of things, honey, and nothing would be nice about anything that he would say. And not only would he be talking about this woman in a negative way, Micca herself would be joining in with Anton and saying the same things that he is saying and agreeing with him. If this was not her, this would be totally different because it's her, though. She wants to act like we don't have eyes and we don't see what we see. That picture, Micca, does not represent a married man. It's no reason to be close to a man in a picture that's not your husband. Sad that she doesn't realize that she has allowed her circle to make her look silly. Child, why did she do this interview? Because Melody, you said what? Girl, why you do this interview? Because I think she thought she was smarter than a 5th grader. Because she knows this person that she's doing an interview with, and I don't think she was ready for what he was going to bring to her. I believe that she thought he was going to go easy on her, and he did not. Deborah says, I do not believe Anton's wife nor Micca's husband watch their content they do together. I don't think so either, Deborah. I don't think either one of them have seen it. But what I do believe is once this whole thing came out about what Corey said, because in spite of the fact that Corey has his issues over there too, again, Corey is going to reach a broader audience outside of YouTube. And especially with all the other things that's going on with Corey. And once this reached, the masses outside of YouTube, I believe it reached her husband and her family, more her husband than anything. And now she's trying to do damage control because he's over there looking like she disrespected him. Is very disrespectful because we haven't heard nothing from her in over a month about this situation. And I don't think she was ever going to speak on it. But she has to do damage control because it's embarrassing to her husband. Melanie says he tricked her. Who tricked her? Who you talking about, Melanie?
There's a gap between it, but I'm looking at how you have a smile on your face. This is just my perspective. Your eyes look seductive, just my perspective. And your arm is relaxed on his upper shoulder.
Correct.
And I would never imagine a married woman leaning on a business male partner that way. That to me is inappropriate.
Okay.
If you were my wife,
Okay.
I would have a serious problem. My problem would be so serious, you would have to probably extinguish your contract with him.
Okay.
Just because, and I will also feel a little uncomfortable that this gentleman obviously did not either push you away or suggest that we shouldn't take this type of picture. I've never met your husband. I fly you out here once or twice. This is this may not be the first time. So which point was this? Not that it matters if it was the third time, the fourth time.
This is the second time.
Oh, goodness. The second time?
This is the second time I'm out there. Not the second time I'm dealing with Anton.
Okay, so what's and it doesn't matter to me, but what's that gap between the first time you're there, he takes you to a business meeting at a basketball game, and you guys are sitting on the floor like you are
that we're working together? And it's not like that.
Well, that's not working together.
No, go back to what you just said.
Is that working together?
No, go back to what you just said.
Which part?
It's not that.
Okay, let me stop it right there because he's going to show something about Anton and his wife, right? But let me stop it right there. Again, yes, Micca is responsible for putting herself in this environment with Anton and letting this go because he had already, according to her, had been saying inappropriate things, so much so that she had to check him in private. But her husband is also to the blame because now it's making him, now he's looking crazy because this is it looks very disrespectful. And it does look like something was going on with them. I agree. I believe her family got wind of this and her husband got wind of it too. Now, again, she said her husband is African. Okay, over there, go watch Tasha K if you want to see that interview over there because Tasha K really was drilling her because she asked for the interview with Tasha K. Tasha put it on her app. Hopefully she'll release it over on YouTube. And that interview over there didn't do her any justice either. Made it even worse, okay? Because Tasha has no filter. And she asked her all kinds of questions, even asked her, did she have her body done? Okay, Tasha was asking any and everything. And I think that it was funny to Tasha. Tasha, she was serious asking the questions, but in the end, she laughed about it, right? And she drilled her. It did no justice for her. It made the situation worse, just like this interview made the situation just as bad. Now, again, back to her husband. Her husband, too, did not bother to meet this man. And your wife has flown out twice to see this man. So the first picture was the very first time she met him. And she flew out there by herself and she stayed. He put her up in a gorgeous hotel. Okay. With her gorgeous self. These are Anton's words. And then the second time she flew out with him, now you're leaning on this man and touching him that you're doing business with. And so, yes, it is inappropriate to me. But she doesn't see it that way. And if you don't see any of this as inappropriate, now she says she put these pictures out there. Again, I mean, did you want the attention? Was you screaming attention from your husband? Did you want him to notice? Is he ignoring you? Like, what is going on? Because I'm going to tell you something. Unless you made different, again, been here, born and raised all my life. I don't know who she dealing with here, but that ain't how these men here operate. Look, I ain't seen no mess like this be okay. And I could imagine probably in most situations, this would not be okay. But she wanted to tell the world that, she's from the DMV area. This is where she's from. Girl, where? Where are you from here? That this is okay. I'm just saying. Girl, what's the T says now, why she asked TK, really, we all know how TK get down. Exactly. He breaking it down so there's no misunderstanding. He absolutely is. And I appreciate him for that because he really could have went real easy. He said he's asking the questions that he want to know and the people want to know. And he really, I just think that she thought that she was going to get a little, you know, he was going to go a little soft on her because she knows him and she's worked with him before. She enjoyed the attention from Anton. All eyes were on her sneaking behind their spouses. Child, y'all did not look like you were working. And I think Micca's lying about her relationship with Anton. And this is what a person sounds like when they are being untruthful. Clearly, she's not smarter than a fifth grader. Maybe her husband is smarter than a fifth grader. She definitely doesn't know how to defend herself in this situation. If it wasn't nothing to defend, she wouldn't have to feel like she needs to defend anything. And to me, yeah, it's like she's coming up for air, like she's in the pool and the currents are pulling her under and she's trying to come up for air. Now, again, I don't care to see Anton's interview, but child, I guess I'm gonna have to go over there and at least find that part. I'm gonna skip through everything else. But according to Tasha, she hasn't put it out yet. It's already done because she advertised it. But when she does put it out, I am going to go over to find that part of it to see what he had to say about Micca, because Tasha told her that she has an interview with Anton that she's going to be doing. And she's going to be asking Anton about Micca specifically, amongst other things. But she will be bringing up this situation with Micca. She did herself no justice in this at all.
No, you said a couple.
Well, pick one.
No, you said sitting on the floor like you are a couple.
Yeah, listen, I'm not.
But you're interjecting your own thoughts, especially.
I'm giving you my perspective.
But your perspective is after I told you. So to put something else there.
Okay, I see. That's fair. Okay, so but I think that's a fair point. I don't want to spin it. What I want to say is messaging, imagery is critical because imagery is messaging.
Correct.
And a lot of times on a jumbotron at a game, we often see couples, whether you're high up or you're on the floor. A lot of times when people are on the floor.
So he talks about imagery is messaging, right? And she says she understands. If you understand that the imagery that Anton has been putting out on his podcast is that something else is going on between you and him other than this business relationship. So if you understand imagery according to you, then you understood exactly what he was putting out and you played along. And now because you don't want to play anymore, according to you, okay, it was nothing. But if that's the case, you have decided that you want to opt out and you don't want to play anymore. You expected for everybody else to then be like, oh, okay, yeah, we knew you was just playing. It's okay. We knew wasn't nothing going on. All that we saw and all the things that he said that was inappropriate, it was just a game. That's what you expected? Because again, one minute you understand, the next minute you want to convince us that it's not what we've been seeing. But here you are saying that you understand imagery, okay, and what's put out there. So why even get on a panel and get in a business situation with someone like him because you studied Anton and you knew who he was if you studied him and you went over there anyway? Like I said, ladies, don't do it. Be careful who you associate with, even when it comes to women, but especially when you're in male spaces, right? That's why I would never go over to a sector like that and try to convince men who already have their opinion about women. I'm not going to try to convince you of anything. I wouldn't try to convince my own husband of something. So there's no way I'm trying to convince some man that I don't know, don't care nothing about. And I would not put myself in a space with a person like this. And for anybody that's listening who decides to be a content creator, whatever the case may be, I say be a content creator. And I tell this to my students, for those of you who don't know, I have taught plenty of people how to be content creators when I was on my previous channel. I still take some people now. I started this new channel. Okay, for those of you who are not familiar with me, but I have told every one of my students that have come to me, come on here, do your content. This is your business and get off. These relationships that people want to have and want to tell people all their business, and then on Mad Day, they telling your business got you pulled up in some mess and drama and all that other stuff. No, you don't need to do that. This is a business. This is your corporation. And you don't need to be opening your doors for everything to come into the door to destroy what you have built. So now what she was trying to do was build her channel by being over there with Anton, right? Because I think she said she had 1,200 subscribers or something. And after, being with him, her subscriber base grew. But it has cost her. You dance with the devil, you will get burnt. It has cost her. Plenty of us came over here on YouTube and we got it out the mud. We did what we needed to do on our own. And in doing so, our names are not being drugged through the YouTube streets. And we have not compromised ourselves because of it, right? So this is a lesson for the women that's watching this.
You see,
Do you sit at the game?
Do I sit at the game?
Correct.
Yes.
Do you sit at the game on the floor?
I have.
No. Do you all the time?
No.
Okay. All right. So who have you met at these games on the floor?
This is my show, not yours. I'm not answering the questions.
Okay. And the reason
if I come on your show, then we can get into that.
However,
I'm
but
not
the reason I asked you is to give perspective, right?
Yes.
Because let me tell y'all something. What she did, that's an Anton move, right? When Anton get on interviews and he's talking about something, he wants to deflect or he wants to take the person off subject to what they're talking about to prove his point or spin the narrative. This is what he does, sound just like him. But this guy said, oh no, you got me messed up. I ain't the one or the two for you to be playing with. This is my show. Don't ask me no questions like this. But watch what she says. She has this air about her where it almost sounds like she's saying indirectly that the people that's watching don't understand business and they are not at the level that she is at, so they don't understand what is actually happening, right? But listen to what she says.
What I found, okay, because I'm usually in the skybox.
Yes.
When I'm here in DC, I'm in my box. I don't like to be down on the floor. That's not my thing.
Sure.
Oops, I don't want to be down. I'm not down on the floor with the peasants, okay? I'm in my skybox. I'm high in the sky. I don't see what's going down beneath me, below me. That's what I get. That's what I'm getting from what she's saying. That's not my thing. I'm up in the skybox. Well, the same person that's up in the skybox has decided to go and connect themselves to somebody who is very outspoken when it comes to women, especially, okay, has no respect, in my opinion, to the point where you over there in the skybox accepting $3,500 for all of this, like one of my people say, this, humiliation and your reputation being ruined for $3,500 a month with your skybox living self. But let's go on.
In the on the floor, there are family members there. They are some of those people. A lot of them are like business seats.
Yep.
So anybody from these law firms, offices, are down there on the floor.
Yeah.
That I've never known who sits down on the floor because I don't care and I don't sit there. Right. But
let me stop right there. Have you all seen basketball games where you have basketball players sitting on the floor? Have you seen games where Beyonce or Jay-Z is sitting on the floor with their family? Have you seen games where Ciara is sitting on the floor with her husband? What was the point in saying this? I've seen people from all walks of life sitting down on the floor at basketball games. What was the point in saying this? Oh, you wanted to tell us that you up in the skybox, high in the sky. What does that mean? Long as you got the money to pay for it, or somebody got the money to pay for it, that doesn't mean anything because you're in no skybox. What the hell does that mean? Micca, you are a non-factor who in DC know her. I don't know who know her, child. I don't know. Girl was the T. I don't. Never heard of her. Yeah, Beyonce be on the floor at the Warriors game. So your point in saying this is what?
By being there, I found out who was actually down there, family members, business partners, all of that. That's what I met.
Listen,
So hold on.
Yes.
So again, I'm not disputing your perspective as far as people that don't know.
Yeah.
Right? That's fair. But when you are in that world and you are in the know, and you know more than just the I would say the popular culture of who might sit down there, right? Because you might see your favorite rapper, things like that. But all those people that are sitting beside the rapper, you absolutely don't know why they're there.
But two married people shouldn't be sitting together without their spouses.
No. Now, see, and here we are again with you going back to something that's not, because you are essentially saying that I cannot do any business dealings with somebody that is in business because that person is married.
No, what I'm saying is somebody who's never met your husband.
Because if I go out with you or anybody
and
else,
I met your husband.
Okay, but
the former host has met your husband.
We've already talked about that.
Yep.
But what I'm saying is, you're saying because you don't know when you're looking at that picture. You don't know if he met him or not.
I know he hasn't met your husband. When I looked at that picture, and maybe because I have inside knowledge.
Yeah, that's why. So my point is, you don't know.
But I don't have to know that's inappropriate. Let me say this. And maybe you just don't see it. You can't see how this could be construed.
That's not what I said.
So do you see this as being inappropriate?
We just talked about what it can look like imagery-wise.
So let me ask you, forget the imagery. Is this inappropriate to you?
From my perspective, it wasn't, because that's not what I was doing. But I told you, I can understand why people might have thought that, but I literally did not have anything going on or anything, like there's nothing inappropriate going on. So me just leaning didn't seem like an issue to me.
Okay, so
But I thought you said you wasn't leaning. When he first asked you, you said you was not leaning into him, but now you saying me just leaning was not an issue. And I guess she was trying to prove the point that you don't know who is on the floor. It could be anybody. So it doesn't, because people don't know if Anton met her husband or not, if it was inappropriate. It doesn't matter if he met your husband or not. It's still inappropriate. I don't care. It's still inappropriate. But we do know now, thanks to you, we know that he ain't met your husband, ain't talked to him, ain't say hello, ain't shook his hand, ain't been in his presence. We know now because of this guy. He is a great interviewer. Okay, he did a wonderful job with this, getting it out there, getting the tea out there when it comes to this information. What we know now is that you have been working for a one-man company, that you have been in his presence several times. I think she said 3 times in total. Your husband has never met this man in over a year and a half, 2 years. Never bothered to talk to him, never went to meet him. And now I'm starting to think to myself, was your husband okay with this? Did you do this and he didn't want you to do it and you did it anyway? Because I don't understand this, that you're flying to this place where this guy is at. You've been there 3 times by yourself, alone, no manager, no crew, nobody to accompany you. And your husband was okay with it. Something ain't adding up. Now, Tasha asked her several questions in reference, and I don't want to give it all out because, that is her paid for platform, so you can go over there and subscribe if you want to see it. If you don't want to stay over there, you can unsubscribe, but let me tell you something. Tasha was asking all kinds of questions because y'all know TK ain't got no stop button, okay? None at all, especially when it comes to women. But let's go on. She made it worse. She shouldn't have come on here. That she look, I don't think she came on and addressed this because she wanted to, because it's been over a month, about a month now or longer. I think she had to come and address this situation because now her husband is over here looking over here looking beta male-ish, simpish, all the things that Anton and the red pill community talk about. That's what her husband is looking like, and is very embarrassing and disrespectful to her husband. I think she's coming to address it to try to clean it up for his sake and to try to clean up her reputation. Reputations go a long way, and because you put yourself in a situation with this person and now it has gone out to the mass media and outside of YouTube, this can also compromise a woman when she goes and does other business when men are involved, because now the image has been put out that you doing something, little something strange for a little change. And then guess what happens when other men tend to think this way? Because I'm sure men, have tried her and try to come onto her anyway. But now the image is being put out there that you have done some things, that wasn't business for business related reasons. And now when you get into other environments with other men, now they're going to try you. I'm just saying.
Some hard questions I really, really need to ask you. First one is, it may not be as hard, but here it is. Are you going to continue working with Anton?
Well, I do not. Well, I have not been on after hours since the whole incident happened.
That's not answering my question.
I'm not finished.
Okay.
So I haven't been on after hours since the incident happened. And I felt that, there were a lot of things that I did not like about everything that went on. So with that, I decided to pull away from the show. So no, I am not.
Is that a permanent termination?
I am not.
Permanent termination?
Yes. I was only doing one show.
Okay, so you're no longer a part of it. Here's another very challenging question, but I have to ask you. I just have to ask you. Have you and Anton ever had sex?
No.
Can y'all believe this man asked her that? Did her husband want to clear this up about his wife being in an intimate relationship with Anton? And so this question was asked because of that. Because this question here, Lord, but look at her, child. She want to let us know. No.
Hold
on. No.
Okay. Any sexual relations?
No. It's always been strictly professional. And you
could be professionally sexual.
Oh, I would know.
Well, that's
so again, It's always been strictly professional. Strictly professional. Like I said, Anton has a persona online.
Okay.
I get his persona online, but personally, Anton hasn't done that to me.
Okay.
So again, who's telling the truth? Because you say he has a persona online. So basically, you say Anton is a fraud. He faking. He acts one way online, but outside of being online, that's not who he really is. And it goes to what other men are saying, and also what Corey has said. That ain't really him. Yeah, somebody said in the chat, which one of y'all said in the chat with something about Anton and his interview with Tasha? Because if he didn't see this interview, I'm sure Anton's people is sending him this interview, and I'm sure he's going to watch it to see what Micca is saying. And if Anton feels some type of way about what she's saying, girl, all I'm gonna say is I hope you be okay. Because he could even make this situation worse than what it is, or, he could leave it alone. But if he feels like, from what I've seen, he's been slighted in any type of way, or the perception is that, you pretty much saying that he's a fraud. He pretends to be one thing online in front of the audience, but he's something totally different offline. That's the very thing that people have been saying about him, and you're confirming it. Is she not confirming it, y'all?
What happened between him and Corey Holcomb? Because the 5150 show, from what
Now, I don't really care about this part. Let me fast forward a little bit, okay, y'all?
To the video. Why play that?
I'll show that video when she was sitting on his lap.
And what were we doing in the video?
I think I saw you in the back, and maybe y'all were doing a show or something.
Yeah, we were doing it after our show.
And he told his wife to come on over and sit down. But
so this is the second she's talking about. I fast forwarded some. She's talking about the second time she met him. Basically, Rita was there all day. He told Rita to come and sit on his lap. She was sitting on the background, basically saying that Rita was there, and so nothing's going on. Let me tell you something. I don't know about you ladies, but I have seen situations where you've had women who own family members, sister, mama, and some more stuff, have been in situations with these women's husbands. So Rita being there and being called over means absolutely nothing. Again, stop playing in our face, okay? We know what side pieces tend to do. We know how they operate. We know what they do. We know that whether it's a family member or somebody outside of the family, if they want to be in a situation with that man, they don't care. They will smile in that woman's face, okay? Even best friends, and still be doing whatever it is that they choose to do when it comes to the relationship with that woman's husband. So that means absolutely nothing. But listen to what he says to her.
Now,
I think you're using
no.
That isolated.
No, that's not isolated. That was the entire day. So
no, I mean isolated your history with him.
No.
Okay.
That the only one that she has that she wasn't at was the first one at the game. Outside of that, Rita is there. Now, I'm not in charge of her schedule.
And that's even scarier.
She's there.
Now, you heard what he said. Now, that's even scarier that Rita has been there. But let them go on.
Most of the time, which is 99.99%
I just think it's scarier
of the time.
I don't know her having spoken with her.
She does a lot of the business dealing. She does the emails. She does the scheduling, because she actually scheduled my flight.
Sure.
So it looks like that he was getting ready to say it's even scarier that she's there, in that space. And it's a possibility that what's being said or alleged about the situation is true. But you see, she kept talking and kind of cut him off from finishing his thought and what he was going to say. Child.
She does those. So Anton is not the person that actually does it. He has an assistant, but a lot of the times his wife does it.
Yeah. And you do have husband-wife business partners. Yeah.
Tons of them.
Yeah. And sometimes those individuals, wife or husband, can be accepting of different arrangements.
Okay, but what does that have to do with me? My arrangement is business and personal.
Right. That's what I mean.
Personal.
That's what I mean. That arrangement. Yeah.
So no, it's not an arrangement. It's an actual business.
No, it's an arrangement
words
by
matter.
A contract.
Words matter.
Yeah.
And
I'm very fastidious when it comes to words.
I know. And and you're also a fast talker. So I pick up on it.
So here's the thing. He said there's, business arrangements when it comes to husband and wife. She's the one that brought the attention to the fact that it's not an arrangement, it's business. I wasn't thinking that he was saying arrangement like, oh, they have an arrangement, or, that it's okay that you all doing what you're doing. You brought attention to it. See, sometimes with her trying to spin the answer, basically shines a bigger light on what it is that it seemed like that's not true or that's trying to be hidden, because he just said arrangement and you go into the whole fact that no, business arrangement, words matter. Like, what? This is something, boy. Woo.
I'm not that fast.
You fast, but I listen.
Sure.
However, no, she does a lot of the booking, so she knows who's coming in and out and things like that. But like I said, that last one that we were just talking about, she was there the entire time. That's why in the video I sent you, she just came on in. She had been sitting there the entire day.
Okay, going back to Corey. So you were there, you arrived, and the show starts.
No.
Well, let's skip past everything else and just get to the crux of it.
Okay.
What do you think really set off either Corey or Anton?
At what part?
At any part. You were there, so you may have witnessed or have seen characteristics that could have been combustible
I
and
think
sort
both
of
of them.
inflamed them.
I think both of them set each other off, because you have two men that are good at what they do, two men that are trying to get their point of view across as what is the best view.
Sure.
And they don't not only not agree on political things, they don't agree on certain values.
But what's the issue? Because it seems like Corey doesn't like that, handle that so respectfully.
What that show is now. And so I don't think I fit that is the same way, I can accept an apology, I can accept somebody saying a wrongdoing. I accept people make mistakes, and I'm not putting that above anything, but I understand what that show is now. And so I don't think I fit, the audience too much. And I don't think, I would provide any value.
What is it that you want people to walk away with today? What truth do you want people to walk away with? And what more do you want to say about all of what we discussed today? Anton, Corey, your business relationship, your husband. We've touched on so many categories. So let's start with the first one. What truth do you want people to walk away with?
Not what truth. There's only the truth.
Sure.
The truth really honestly is that there are lessons. There are...
Oh, this is good. I love lessons. What's the lesson that you extracted from this experience? Because your life was speaking to you. Do you understand that?
I learned a valuable lesson. Outside of your wordsmithing, outside of your wordsmithing, I do think it is important for your spouse to meet everybody. Right?
Thank God we made progress.
Oh no, I wasn't ever not agreeing with you.
Sure.
I just still wanted you to understand that there wasn't anything nefarious there.
Yeah. On whose part?
On
yours, because you can't speak for anyone else.
Correct.
Yes.
But so I didn't want that to be misconstrued in what you were asking.
Sure.
But I do think it's important because, if and not that he would even be online talk, because he's not going to do that.
Sure.
But just to be able to have that sense of, if something like this happens, you understand, other people can have an understanding that, that person definitely knows what's going on, even though he does. Absolutely. I've told him this, that, and third goes on. This is what we're doing. This is the paperwork. This, blah, 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 whatever. But when you have somebody, like you or others that are asking questions, I don't have to try to defend something that isn't happening, that absolutely isn't happening. And so I think the best way to put it is not having to make something a thing when it's not a thing. And not having to have things appear a way, because I can tell you in each one of those pictures, that's literally just chilling
And
the entire time.
And most importantly, if I can impose, most importantly, making your family a priority, making your husband
my family is definitely a priority.
Well, again, we're talking about imagery. The public doesn't know behind the scenes.
Right.
You're a public figure. You do a show. I do a show. You put things out there, and you have to be responsible for the images that you put out, but also the images that you are participating in, and be a very conscious, clear, and very divine woman who walks with the knowledge of knowing that any man that you deal with as a married woman should meet your husband if it's a contractual ongoing relationship. It doesn't mean that some new guy starts working at the job, your husband needs to know. No, but if you're doing business and if this person you're opening your life up to, you're flying somewhere, God forbid you could have flown somewhere and that would have been your last flight.
Well, I mean, that can happen regardless whether my husband meets somebody or not.
Yeah, but it's critical to have your husband an integral part of your decisions when you're out here making them.
And he's still, and my husband's very much a part of my decisions, because again, I don't move.
Yeah.
And that's I have to explain to my husband where I'm going. I don't get to just get up and go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's always there. But what I'm talking about, one, the public wouldn't even know whether I did or didn't.
Yeah.
So me giving you this interview and telling you that it's something that the public would never even know.
Yeah. But let's remove the public thinking for a second and just perhaps think about maybe how your husband felt. I couldn't.
I can't. I'm not going to speculate how.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think all the images plastered all over social media, he felt good?
I'm not going to do that either.
You're not going to do what?
I'm not going to say what my husband felt like. My husband.
Did you and your husband have a conversation?
Figure, so I'm not going to.
Right. I'm right, but I'm just saying, did you and your husband have a conversation about what he was exposed to? He sees images on social media.
Oh, you mean, okay, so are you talking about this incident?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, now go ahead and answer the question.
So what I'm saying is, when your husband sees these images, what I'm saying is, it's not important what the public sees or thinks, but it's perhaps what your husband and your family feel when they open up YouTube.
So those pictures have been sitting there for a year.
Well, not just those pictures. I'm just saying the most recent thing when you went with Anton to Corey's show, and things was just, there was a recent conversation about you being the side chick. So
so that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The images are not.
But those images corroborated. But those images corroborated a narrative that people wanted to put out there.
That they
had something to use.
Well, they have. You can. Let me phrase it this way. You can use whatever you want to create a narrative. But again, those images have been on my Instagram for over a year.
And that's a beef I had with you. Why is this man on your Instagram and not your husband?
So I don't want to put that in.
Okay. But do you understand?
Hey, Miss Z, you see again, when he asked her, why is this man on your Instagram, talking about Anton, and not your husband? She doesn't even want to answer the question. Now, I understand you keeping your personal life private. I do it myself, right? But here's the problem when you go and connect yourself to a person like Anton Daniels, whose content is not favorable with a lot of people, who to me rage bait, who talks very negatively about women especially, and you're a woman of color, mixed race or whatever, and you go and sit on his platform and you're being shown, okay, your face is shown, you're not anonymous. So if you've chosen to put yourself in a space with a person like him, who brings and who puts out a lot of negative content and bring a lot of negativity to his channel, you got his people that's watching who like him and who don't like him. And so I get you want to be private, but when you put yourself in a space with a person like him, you have to know that people eventually are going to be trying to figure out who your spouse is. So much so she understands this because she has been, in a sense, almost, and I shouldn't say hiding, but in a sense trying to hide the fact that she may or may not be married. So you've been out on social media. You said you've been on, some news channels here in the DMV area, and you've done all of these different things, and you've been in spaces with, higher echelon people and all those things. But at the same time, you are trying to hide your husband and protect him, I guess. Do you not know that you put yourself in a position where people very well will find out who your husband is? And let me tell you something. Tasha told her over there on her app, right? Tasha pretty much let her know, I can go and find out who your husband is if I want to. Tasha told her. So I would not have went and sat on Tasha's platform if I wanted to keep this stuff to myself, because you don't know what the hell Tasha might do. You and your team, or her manager, she says her manager, not her team, she has a manager according to her, reached out to Tasha for this interview. Tasha did not reach out to her. Tasha didn't even have her on her radar. Tasha said she was going to ask Anton about her, but she was not thinking about interviewing with her. And you get over there and Tasha asks you who you married to. Tasha even told her, I don't believe you married, because you don't move like a married woman. You don't seem like you married to me. Tasha said it to her several times, to the point where Tasha asked her how old she was. She didn't want to tell her age. Did she have children? She didn't want to tell that. She didn't want to tell what race her husband was. Tasha said, yeah, he must be white. And Tasha kind of, in a sense, baited her into saying that her husband is African. Now, I'm not sure that I believe that, but that's what she said, right? Her husband's African. And we know one thing that TK is an investigator. So I would not be surprised if she don't go out there and find out if he's really African. And if Tasha finds out that this man is not African like he told her, like she told Tasha, I can see Tasha put it out, because Tasha would say, you lied. You know what I'm saying? She lied. Let me find out she a fraud and this, that, and other. We know how Tasha operate. So again, these are people that you have watched and you know how they move. Just like with Anton, you watched him and studied him. You said you watched Corey. You went to watch Corey at a show. You knew who Corey was, and you still chose to go on that platform with Anton. Then when you got called a negative word, you have an issue with it, right? Now your feelings hurt. You totally surprised when Corey talks about this way about women all the time, even his own wife and daughter. But you surprised that he said this about you. Why? Your privilege blinded you. Your light skin blinded you. What blinded you? We'll put the blinders on. Then you surprised about this situation, what has happened with Anton, when you have sat over there on that panel with that man for over a year and you've seen everything that he's done, and you want us to believe that you didn't understand how YouTube is and how it operates. Well, the minute that you sat on his platform and he said the things to you that was inappropriate, when you got that understanding, you could have left then, but you didn't. You stayed. And now this is happening. Then you go over and over to Tasha's platform, a huge YouTuber, and you and your manager asked to meet with Tasha, but you don't want to answer any of Tasha's questions. And if you know anything about Tasha, you know Tasha knows you like a lot of us, and she's gonna be all up in your business. Who you married to? Are you married? Ask her the same thing about Anton being on the platform. Why your husband ain't on the platform? Tasha was looking at her Instagram while she was interviewing her and was asking her questions. So you went and sat on Tasha's platform, knowing who Tasha is. It's giving, I want to be seen. I want attention. I want to get some clout off of these people. I want to be in a social setting where it's going to benefit me. But all the while, I think that I'm going to get something different than what these people have done or shown themselves to be with other people, because you think you're special. Is that what it is? Because Corey doesn't hide who he is. Anton is not hiding who he is from what we see on his platform. And Tasha definitely don't hide who she is. But you have chosen each time to go to these different people who have made it very clear who they are, how they operate, their behavior with other people. And then you wants to, woe is me. Now, if I was her, I wouldn't have done this interview, but she's probably was the safest being over here with this guy, even though child, this interview did not do her any justice at all. All I can say is we're going to wait in the background and see if Tasha come and bring us some more information, because after her not answering Tasha's questions, as long as I've been watching Tasha and a little that I do know about her, Tasha going to go and do some research on her and her husband. So we'll see, but let's go ahead and finish this out.
And that pulled me to pulling his mindset in. And he's not sitting here talking.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. But no other males. So these are the takeaways. Mm-hmm. No males on your Instagram.
Well, I wasn't finished. So okay. We have the lessons.
Yes.
And we have
So what was the first lesson again you said you got from this?
Oh, just being, so what the takeaways are: first, lessons, understanding that even though this is all business, this is above board, the public may perceive something a certain way, and you just have to be aware of how they may perceive it, even if it's not that.
Correct.
So not to give the public something to make a thing when it's not a thing, and having to defend a lie. Because
so let me get this right. So the public made a thing when it's not a thing. You and Anton didn't make a thing. The public made it a thing. So Anton getting on his platform and talking to you as if you was a single woman didn't make it a thing. You sitting on the platform week after week after week after week for over a year while he talked to you in that way didn't make it a thing. The public who witnessed what they saw with their eyes and heard with their ears made it a thing because they responded to what you and Anton put out. So the public made it a thing. You didn't make it a thing. Anton didn't make it a thing. Anton came on his show after the Corey Holcomb situation and what Corey said about you. Oh, and Corey didn't make it a thing because Corey is the one that made the thing and made the comment about you, right? That went out to everybody. But you didn't have nothing to do with that. Even when you went on your panel and didn't really hold Anton accountable for bamboozling you and bring you to an interview that you wasn't invited to. Okay. And Corey called you out of your name. So they didn't make it a thing, but the public made it a thing. Ooh, child. Okay. If you say so, girl.
Now, when people ask me a question about that situation, it's to defend something that absolutely never happened.
Yeah.
And you cannot defend a lie.
What's the next takeaway?
The next takeaway.
He even tired of hearing that. He said, go next. I'm saying he like, next. I'm tired, girl. I'm tired. I'm tired of hearing these spinning stories that you giving me. I'm tired. Next. He trying to shush her along. Okay. Go ahead. Next thing.
Is just to make sure that it's everything is contractual, right? So even though if me and you are, my my manager, just to make sure everything is contractual, even with the third party.
Next takeaway. If there's a next, I don't want to just line them up for you.
No.
So her manager, I don't understand this either. She said her manager to make sure it's contractual. You said that you was a contract employee. So was nothing put in a contract? You signed no contract with him at all? So Anton let you work on, I'm just trying to understand. So Anton let you work as an employee for him, a contract employee. There was no contract. I'm not talking about an NDA, right? Everybody else signed this NDA. You got an exception. You didn't have to sign it for whatever reason. You was exempt from that. On top of that, nothing was contractual. So you signed no contract. You signed no NDA. You telling us that it was a business with this man, even though there was nothing written in a business form to make it a business. You flew out to see him. You went to games. You flew out there, 3 times, supposedly did business, unofficial business, because if there's no contract in place, there's no NDA, there's no nothing. This is unofficial business. It's not business. Okay. Maybe it's business by handshake or hug. I don't know. You leaning on his chest. I don't know. Maybe that's a different type of business. I'm just saying. But according to you, what you're saying and the lessons that you've learned, it seems like there was nothing in place other than word of mouth. Are y'all getting this? Because maybe I'm not understanding. Terry said she's draining. Well, thank you, Terry, for being here and being drained right along with me. Okay. She sounds like a child that did not know any better. She knows she is a married woman. Was not a good look. And Deborah, she told Tasha that she's been married forever. When Tasha asked her how long she'd been married, she wouldn't even answer that question. She said all her life. And then she says, well, as long as I've been an adult. So you've been a married woman for a very long time, according to you, even though we don't know her age, because Tasha asked her that too, and she wouldn't answer that either. She didn't want to tell Tasha her age either. So a lot of the questions that Tasha asked her, she did not answer. She told Tasha pretty much she didn't want to answer the question. So what was the interview for? To come and tell Tasha's audience that that you was not doing anything inappropriate with a married man. I'm trying to understand. I don't know.
Opposite of that, it's just honestly, I think just overall, just to make sure that you're just not giving people things that they think are going on, not to let stuff linger, because
hold on. Jay, what? You already found her. Lord have mercy. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Had she went on her channel and continued to do her videos and did not do any of these interviews, did not put the spotlight back on herself, people would have forgotten about her, except for the people that was watching her channel. All of this would have faded in the background. She had already not been being talked about anymore, because now the focus is on Corey and Anton, and even some of the focus was being taken off of Anton and being put specifically on Corey. But now you didn't put yourself back in the algorithm. Now you have revived the story, okay, of you being associated with Anton, because you want to go and do interviews, and you've done this interview, and you did an interview with Tasha K. And my guess is maybe your husband wanted you to come and clear some things up so he doesn't, look like woo-boo the foo-foo child. I don't know. But YouTube, and you've been on YouTube long enough to know that if you respond to a story, that story can grow legs and start running up and down the YouTube streets. So you said you learned a lot from Anton. And if you learned one thing, you should know, if nothing else, the more you talk about something and bring it up, the longer it lives. So nobody was thinking about you anymore. That rumor was dead. Nobody cared. It was buried, okay? After if initially was talked about it, but you brought it back to life by doing this interview and going over there with Tasha K. And now Tasha K is about to talk to Anton, and Anton going to respond to whatever he choose to respond to in reference to what you're saying. Because one thing I know that I've seen about him, he is trying to make it clear that he is not a fraud. But what you have done is you have made it seem like that he is absolutely a fraud and he is not really who he is putting himself out there to be. And from what I see, his little ego ain't gonna like that. You opened a can of worms. You wrote a check that you can't cash. This ain't good. I do digital forensics, so I found most of her stuff. It's easy to find. Just curious how she got into a certain consulting firm and a while ago. Ooh, Chan, girl, you need to be sending me a message because I'm just nosy. So, Chan, since you know this, is her husband African? Because she said he African. I'm just asking. See, and this is what I'm talking about. You should have stayed quiet. You should have stayed quiet. I know her check at the firm had to be more than what she is getting now. Oh, child, not you was at a law firm. What? You was at, oh, hold on. What you say, Chen? Let me make sure you talking a consulting firm. Okay. Here, and that's another thing on YouTube. You got these people that want to be famous. They want to be known. Okay. Yes, I would love to be wealthy. Okay. Give me all the riches, but I damn sure don't want to be famous. I don't need nobody. You know, you hear these people that's millionaires and billionaires, and we ain't never seen their face and ain't thinking about them, but we know there's wealthy people out there, right? That's never been seen, that's not in the spotlight. So you working for a HR consultant firm. Okay. And you chose to come over here and connect yourself to the likes of Anton. Girl. So that means, okay, Tasha absolutely will know who by now. I'm sure she knows who you are and who your husband is. And it won't be long before somebody go and put your business out there. Look at girl, what's the tea? Girl, what's the tea? Now, Chan, you done opened up. Look, you done opened up a can of worms, girl. You got the people asking questions. Mm-mm.
I'm a very private person.
That's the Pisces in us.
Yeah. I'm a very private person. And again, I'm not doing.
So you private and you chose to go over there with Anton. You private and you was willing to go over there with Corey Holcomb. Doesn't make sense. You private, but you went on Tasha's platform to clear up some things. And you know, Tasha platform reaches over 1 million people. Okay. And you talking about celebrities seeing this? So now you putting the spotlight on you yet again. But you private though. It doesn't make sense. No, she isn't. Can't possibly align into the niche she is doing right now. Wait, you saying no? She not married, Chan? Is that what you saying, Chan? What you saying, Chan? Because that lady say she is married and she married to an African. That's what she said. I don't believe it, but that's what she said. And this guy, I don't know if he's agreeing with her, but according to him, he said he met her husband, right? Or who he thinks is her husband. That's what he said. He met her husband. He's a nice guy. Oh, okay, Chan. Okay, Chan. I see what you're saying. Girl, you were not a private person. Anton has a big platform, child. Girl, what's the T said? No, she is not married. Oh, you saying with the firm. Okay, she can't be with that firm right now. Yeah, this was not good. You know, I don't know who Micca talks to. I think she should have did her due diligence and her homework to see, you know, to make a decision who she's going to sit on platforms with. I think it was a bad move for her to do this. Tasha again made it very clear. Tasha did not reach out to her. She reached out to Tasha. And you put yourself in a position where now people are going to be curious, and people now are really going to go out there and be trying to figure out if you really married, like you said. And girl, if you ain't married, Lord, the dragging that will be done on these YouTube streets. But if you thought because you was coming out here and saying this and people was going to take your word for it, you should be smarter than that. I'm just saying. Why is she lying about being married? She introduced the guy as her husband to the interviewer. So the guy that's interviewing her, he says he's worked with her before. And according to him, he said he's met her husband, or whoever this person that's supposed to be her husband. He's met her. Now, what we do know, people will say that they are married and they're not, or people will think that a person is married to somebody and they're not. But according to him, because I don't know these people, but according to the interviewer, the person she's talking to, he said he has met her husband. Okay. Tasha's going to eat her up. I hope she did. I hope she did a lot of Tasha. Because Tasha ain't gonna like that. She ain't gonna take that kindly either. The married thing is what I'm surprised about. I kept seeing all these comments saying she was married, but nobody knew. Because she kept it a secret.
Doing anything nefarious. And so sometimes when I hear things, I'll say, okay, well, people are gonna just talk. I don't give life to it because it's not true.
Do you like a little bit of the attention?
I've always got attention.
No, that's not what I'm asking.
No.
Here's the problem again. He asked the question, and instead of answering the question, you make a statement that's not answering the question. So the answer to me would be yes. He said, do you like the attention? She said, I've always gotten attention. That's not the question he asked. And what I've learned is when people deflect and don't answer a question and they lead with something else, then normally they're evading the answer. And so I would guess that yes, but I don't think she'll say yes, she likes the attention. But let's see what she says.
I've always got,
that's not what I'm asking.
No. I've always gotten.
You can't modify my question. This is called perspective. It's my perspective.
And this is my perspective of your answer.
Okay. This is what I had to go through being her executive producer, y'all. This is what I had.
And y'all see what he said? He was her executive producer at some point. So did he really meet her husband? Because she went to this guy because she felt like it would be a space where she can go to. I don't think she thought that he would interview her in this way, though. I think that she thought this was going to go a different way. So let's see what she says.
To go through.
So the attention from the negative stuff, absolutely
no. Do
not.
You like attention from men?
No.
Okay.
I like attention to what I'm doing.
Are you happily married?
I'm definitely happily married.
Are you bored in your marriage?
No.
Okay. Just people. You wanted me to ask the questions.
They want you to be messy.
No.
Listen, let's call it a thing. They want you to be messy. They want you to hold on. This is the internet. They want you to be messy. They want you to be all in my business, and they want you to get something out of me that isn't there. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem in my marriage. Most of y'all didn't even know I was married because this is why. And two.
Oh, so it's our fault that we, because this is why, because people was going to ask questions about your marriage, and now it's the people's fault as to why you kept it a secret that you was married. When I tell you the deflection, honey, and no accountability is crazy, and the people want to be messy and they want to get something out of you that ain't there, and this, that, and the other. Well, if you as smart as you are, saying that this is the internet, then if you felt that way and this is what the internet is, why put yourself in this space? And if you was going to come to this space, why not put yourself in a position where you can protect your family and yourself and your personal business by not connecting yourself to someone like Anton Daniels, who has a lot of negativity being placed on him. Therefore, you being in close proximity, being, working for him, being on his panel all the time, guess what? It's going to bring negativity to you too. When a boomerang comes around and hits him, it's going to hit you. And one thing that Anton said on the interview with her, he said before, is he doesn't care about the negative or the positive. Long as the people are talking and watching, he don't care. He don't care, how the people feel. They feel negative, they still gonna watch. If they don't like him, they hate him, they still gonna watch. When she did that interview with him, that's something they talk about. So you already knew what it was on his platform. So I take it that you thought that it was gonna be different for you because what? You cute? Child, a delusion.
outside of entertainment, just like your girl Beyonce, it's none of your damn business.
Yes, she keeps
what
a tight
is it?
seal.
What try?
Yes, girl, what's the tea? She does have her ring on. She has her ring on, and it's on the right hand and the right finger, right? She has it on. So outside, what she say is not. This ain't good, girl. The way you talking to the people, you just don't know. This gonna cause a problem for you. But go ahead and go off. Go ahead.
Attention to what I'm doing.
Are you happily married?
I'm definitely happily married.
Are you bored in your marriage?
No.
Okay. Just people, you wanted me to ask the questions.
They want you to be messy.
No. Listen.
Let's call it thing to thing. They want you to be messy. They want you to, hold on. This is the internet. They want you to be messy. They want you to be all in my business. And they want you to get something out of me that isn't there. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem in my marriage. Most of y'all didn't even know I was married because this is why. And two, outside of entertainment, just like your girl Beyonce, it's none of your damn business.
Yes, she keeps a tight seal.
What try to, at least before the elevator.
You heard what she said. Outside of this, it's none of your daggone business. Here's the thing: even though it ain't the people's business, they're gonna make it their business. Just like Beyonce, you want to reference Beyonce, right? Beyonce tries to keep things private, but she hasn't been able to because people are all up in her business. So much so that they have dragged her daughter, her innocent daughter. So you knowing this and putting yourself in this type of space, you already know what it is. Especially, again, I'm going to say again, you got to be careful who you connect yourself to and who you associate with when you come to these platforms, especially here on YouTube. If you want to have any chance of being private or whatever the case may be, then you should be solo dolo on your platform, not associating yourself with people who bring a lot of negativity, okay? A lot of back and forth and drama and all those kind of things. Those are not the people you should be connecting yourself with. Because what you want to get, if that's what they get, what you think you want to get? You're not exempt. She wants to be a Candace Owens, and that's not going to happen. It's definitely not going to happen. Why does she compare herself to celebrities? Micca didn't. I say we don't know you, and we don't know you, and neither does DC. Okay, this is something. And you talking that way when you talking to the people, it's none of your damn business, girl. Look, all you doing is making it worse for yourself. That's all you doing.
Yeah.
But my point is the general public is only, with anybody that's in the public, is only preview to what you let them know. Now, a lot of them want to dig, a lot of them want to, find something salacious, this and that. That's fine because people like drama. But
do you think it was embarrassing to your husband?
To do what?
No, not to do anything. Do you think the the
headline?
memes, the headlines.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
So
was
you
it was
agree that
embarrassing to me because it wasn't true.
Yeah. Did he express to you how he felt?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And again, it was
What did he
embarrassing
say
to me
how
because
he
it
felt?
wasn't true.
What did he say
I mean,
about how he felt?
He didn't like it, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And
is
I
that
didn't
the
like
reason why you walked away from the show with Anton?
No.
What was that reason? We're going to close this out. What was that reason why you walked away?
No, the reason why I chose.
Let me stop it right here before she answers that. So y'all heard what she said. It was embarrassing to her husband and it was embarrassing to her. But that wasn't the reason why she walked away from the show. So you didn't walk away because of what was said about you and the rumors that was spread around and your reputation being damaged, and you being perceived as something very negative. That's not why you left for the sake of your husband. Even though you said you want to protect your husband, right? And that's why you haven't put him out there and you didn't let the public know, it was being kept a secret that you were married. But now you're saying that's not the reason why you walked. So you left the show. So let's see what she says about why she left the show with Anton.
The walk away is one, it wasn't true, but I don't need.
What was it true? The side chick?
Yes.
Okay.
The headline wasn't true. It was, and
that's another thing. Why doesn't she just say it wasn't true that I was a side piece? I was a side chick. It wasn't true. The headline wasn't true. He had to ask you and clarify what wasn't true. If you are saying and you want the people to know that it's not true that you are a side piece, a side chick, I would say it's not true to people saying that I'm his side chick and I'm messing with this man. I'm not doing that. I'm nobody's this, that, and other. Why aren't you saying it and making it plain and clear that that is not the position that you were playing when it comes to your relationship with him? And when he makes it clear, she seems very uncomfortable when she answers. Let me go back a little bit so y'all can see what I mean.
Absolutely. And again, it was embarrassing to me because it wasn't true.
What did he say?
I mean,
about how he felt.
He didn't like it, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And
is that the reason why you walked away from the show with Anton?
No.
What was that reason? We're going to close this out. What was that reason why you walked away?
No, the reason why I chose to walk away is one, it wasn't true, but I don't need.
What was it true? The side chick?
Yes.
Okay.
The headline wasn't true. It was, and Corey said this out of his own mouth. I was just trying to get at he called him the N-word.
Sure.
So now we supposed to believe what Corey said. Corey, who have said many things, and want to play victim, very much like what you're doing right now. Want to play victim and clueless to why people are responding to him the way that they are, same way you're doing. So we supposed to believe what Corey said about you, because Corey in one breath called you the side piece. Actually, he called you something worse. And then Corey comes back and says he said it because he was trying to get at Anton. We supposed to believe a double-minded man. Double-minded, twisted tongue talking. Okay. We supposed to believe because Corey said it, it ain't true. Girl, bye.
I understood it. I was the person caught in between, the casualty, whatever. But when somebody of that caliber says something and the general public doesn't know much about you, they can create all types of narratives.
Yep.
And so because they don't know much about me and they know Anton, he can get up on a platform and say, well, this is what it is, and so on and so on. When Anton spoke the next day, which was fine, because it had just happened. But when he spoke the next day, he was, so hype and boisterous from, what was happening with him, that he didn't properly address what had happened to me. And being that I wasn't on camera, I didn't have a voice. And so I depended on the person that I trust to be my voice.
Advocate, yep.
And also being that you are on a big platform, everybody, for the most part knows Anton. So when you go to, it's either you don't speak about it or you speak about it. And when he went to speak about it, he didn't advocate. He only still boistered towards whatever Corey had to say. And I get the boistering, but my advocation should have been first.
How did you inform him you were done with the show?
Well,
did you call him or email or?
Well, again, I had to process it first. Because again, I had never been involved in something that's everywhere like that. And on top of that, it's a lie.
Yep.
And so I had to process how I wanted to move forward with that. But I called Anton and I spoke to him like I would do when we have any other business dealings.
Sure.
And I told him how I felt, like I'm telling you right now, about avocation and things like that. And from that point on, he called, well, I'm gonna see how you doing with it and such and such. But I just came to a point where I know that certain things aren't going to change because that's his platform, and I wouldn't want somebody to change their platform.
So how did he handle it? Was he just like, okay, if that's your decision, I respect it?
That's exactly what he said.
Okay.
Almost to the T.
Yep.
But
so Anton pretty much told her, I really don't care. If that's your opinion, that's what you feel. I mean, I can't. Anton has said this to other people, and she's been working with him for over years, so she knows this. He said this several times. Okay, he says on his panel, if that's how you feel, that's what you feel like. Okay, he don't care, girl. He obviously don't care how his wife is perceived because of things that he says and what he puts out on his panel. So why would you think that this man is going to advocate for you that you claim you work with, you have no relationship with, when I don't see the protection of his own wife with the way that he flirts with you and according to you, other women on the panel, and he's a married man. But you thought for some reason he was going to advocate for you and he ain't married to you when he doesn't do it with the wife the woman that he took vows with? Girl.
He understood. Because
will you all remain friends? You're not working together. Will you remain in contact, rather?
Will we remain cordial?
Will you remain in contact with each other?
No, we never had a relationship where he's just calling me just to call, just like we don't go out and chill just to chill.
But he can send you a message on a DM. Like, is he blocked?
No.
So he's not blocked. Okay.
No, he's not.
So he still has access. If he wanted to reach you, he has access.
He's not blocked. He's not blocked.
Yeah.
Because there isn't. I don't have a disdain or something like that for anything he does. And
if I was her husband, I have a problem with that too. He should be blocked. He should have no way to have access to you whatsoever. Blocked on the phone, blocked on the DM, blocked, and blocked. But that's just me.
Just ended your contract.
We just ended the business relationship that we had.
Okay.
And I'm not
so again, there was no contract. They just ended the business relationship. He specifically asked her, did you end the contract? She made it clear earlier that her manager should have set up a contract, and that's one of the lessons she learned. There was no contract between him and her. Nothing on paper anyway.
Arrested in bashing Anton and I'm not taking away from what Anton did on the side that helped me with my journey, but everything has a season.
Yeah.
And I think just ours have come to an end because at this juncture, I can't trust that you'll advocate for me being the, I was under your covering at the time.
Hold on. Did y'all hear that? She can't trust that he will advocate for her because she was under his covering at the time. You was under your husband's covering. So when you use terms like covering and you're talking about a man, your cover comes from your husband and then God covers your husband. See, these people, her and her stance and Anton and his stance, and they like to talk about religion. Your covering should have been your husband. So you wanted Anton to, this makes no sense for somebody that you say you ain't had no relationship with, right? You expected for him to advocate and cover you. You was under his covering. You was under your husband's covering. So your husband failed you too. Let's talk about it. Because he didn't cover you, because he didn't make sure that the man you was going to go meet with, that he met this man and checked him out for you. But you wanted Anton to cover you, knowing how Anton operates and his behavior and what he has shown us on YouTube, as if he owes you something, when he is the very man to talk about that wherever city he go to, he got HOs with him. This is the man you thought that was going. Child, you ain't smarter than a fifth grader, for real, for real. This is craziness. Really? Let's go back and hear that one more time, okay? Let's just hear it one more time, because I know my ears deceiving me.
Everything has a season.
Yeah.
And I think just ours have come to an end because at this juncture, I can't trust that you'll advocate for me being the, I was under your covering at the time. And that's what, I have to have in somebody that's a business partner, that's doing, my management or bookings, anything.
And he's never met your husband.
Well,
I don't want to leave that out. I know you lined up everything else, but we need to always keep that a part of your lineup.
Well,
doing business with anybody, they need, particularly male, they need to meet your husband, because as men,
I already, that was my first thing. That was in the lesson.
Okay, well,
I addressed that already.
Okay, maybe I wasn't just listening as thorough, because I wanted to. I just wanted to.
You did, because you went.
He wants to drill it into you because you acting like you don't understand. You wanted this man to cover you when your husband didn't cover you. The expectations was set by you and your husband. When you flew your married self out to meet this strange man without your husband, the expectations was set from the very beginning. So you got what you were looking for. That's what you got. And now you acting shocked and clueless, and you don't understand. And it's a season for everything. This season would have never ended for you had you not been outed by Corey, or I should say Corey put it out there, the situation that he wanted people to believe. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. I'm not there. But had that situation not happened, you still would be sitting on a platform with Anton. And although you said, I'm not trying to bash him and all this, and I'm not taking away what he did for you, you have not actually studied the person that you sat with that long, because I don't think he's going to take this interview kindly. Because again, you are outing him, because you telling us that he a fraud. That's what you're doing.
See, I listened to you, but that was the first thing I said.
Your husband is my boy. He's a really nice guy, and I want to make sure
everybody. But this is the first person that I've actually done business with that was strictly out of town.
Okay,
that makes it worse. So again, she don't hear what she's saying. So he said her husband is his boy. So he's saying he knows her husband, right? And again, her husband has met everybody else she's done business with, but he has not met Anton, because the reason is because Anton is out of town. That is the lamest reason I have ever heard of. Okay. So Anton couldn't fly here with his millionaire self, and your husband couldn't fly there. You know, when your upper echelon with your box sitting self up in the clouds. Your husband did not take the time and could not go meet this man to cover you, but you want a man who ain't married to you to cover you. Child, oh Lord.
So again, that was a different dynamic. But again, like I said, I learned a lesson from it to either, I don't know, he has to fly, or the person I'm doing business with has to fly in so they can cordially meet face.
No, the person needs to fly in to meet your husband.
No, I'm saying if I'm going out, maybe he flies. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
He flies, or the other person can fly in, and then they can cordially meet together in person. But
okay, well,
that's where, you know.
Well, I want to thank you for doing this interview. I think you did a fantastic job. I put you under the heat. I pushed back. You pushed back. You was poised and
okay, that's the end of the interview. When I tell y'all this ain't good, I don't know what she thought she was going to accomplish by this, but I can tell you one thing she did accomplish. She opened a can of worms. This is worse than it was the first time. She's lighting these YouTube streets up, and now it looks even more like what the rumor was about her. It looks like it's even more true, in my opinion. She cleared up nothing. In my opinion, she made her husband look like he don't care if there is a husband. It looks like there ain't no husband. People still questioning that. Her husband over here looking like he is not a protector of his wife, you know, and you over here looking like you did see, and child, you don't know, and you ain't smarter than a fifth grader. This made it worse. I don't know. Y'all tell me y'all opinion, what you think in the chat, because it makes no sense. Does Anton have a new light-skinned panelist? I think he does. Girl, what's the tea? I think he does. I saw a young woman over there, but I've been over there one time. And that's what I've been hearing, that he has somebody already replacing her. She is using her words wrong. Maybe Anton did not cover you back. He is not your husband. Exactly. Lord, be some new neurons. Lord, be some new neurons in the brain. This reminds me of the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Y'all mess. Anton got another high yellow on the panel. I gotta go over there and be a little nosy and see already. He said, child, I ain't worried about you. I got another one to replace you, just like that. And he still seems confused about her part as a wife when it comes to her work relationships. Doesn't seem like her husband goes to anything with her. He might not care. She might be not the crumb winner. I don't know. Something is off with that relationship. I don't know where he's from. Again, I'll say this again for those who didn't hear it. According to her, she told Tasha he's African. After Tasha said you must not be married. Tasha told her straight up she don't believe she's married. She don't move like a married woman. Why is that man on your panel that ain't your husband? Why your husband ain't on there? Tasha said he must be white. Then she finally said, because we know how TK can be, Tasha's very persistent. Then she finally admitted that he supposedly is African. That's what she said. Okay. Like I said, I don't know who she's dealing with. If he's African, he must be from Africa over there somewhere, because I can tell you, living in this area, I don't know if she's dealing with one of them guys that the red pills be talking about. But from what I've seen in my experience, these men here, that ain't going to fly to meet a man your husband ain't never met, that you ain't never talked to, ain't never met, don't really know nothing about other than what you telling him. That's not gonna fly with most of these men here. So I don't know where he from, and she claims she from here. Girl, I don't know. It ain't making no sense to me. Okay. Micca is pressed. If you're still talking about this a month later, I think she's trying to clear it up, girl. What's the tea? I think now, just my opinion. She said her husband basically, it was disrespectful. It was embarrassing. It didn't look right to him or her. So now it's a issue for your husband, but it wasn't an issue before when you was flying out to see this man and he was talking to you inappropriately on your panel. On his panel. Did he not even bother to watch the panel? I would have liked if he had asked. This guy was very good, but I would have liked had he asked, have your husband ever watched you on the panel with Anton? Is he even aware of what goes on and how you all interact on the panel? Because it seems like her, one of you said it in here, it seems like her husband does not watch, the show, or again, he just didn't care. He just doesn't care. And he's not covering you in any type of way. I just think she was coming to clear it up because it has reached her husband, probably his friends that know them. You know how men are about, being embarrassed and looking like that their wife is running around with another man. And I think she's tried to come and make it better, but she only made it worse. Micca seems very hurt and confused about what happened when she brought it on herself. Exactly, Deborah. And then you sitting up here trying to act like the people that's watching is the problem. No, you the problem. You are the problem. Well, Micca, you had fun. Not you had fun while it lasts. Right. It wasn't an issue when she was the so-called prize for Anton. When Anton was over on that panel defending her and all those people on the panel was upset because she was getting special treatment. It wasn't a problem then, but it's a problem now. Micca's press, you still talking about, yeah. Most African men are control. That's another thing, girl. What's the tea? I know here that ain't gonna fly. But when it comes to African men, no, that's not normally how they operate. The only time I've seen them be passive like that is normally if they're with a white woman, right? She's normally doing whatever she want to do, like she running everything, she running the show. So what she's saying, it just doesn't make sense, and I can't say if it's true or not. I don't believe it. I just don't. Okay. And unless I'm shown something differently, even with this guy saying he met her husband, I don't care what he say. I still don't believe it. I don't know him. It just doesn't make sense. So we'll see what Anton has to say. I don't know when Tasha's going to drop that interview. I do have a subscription over there. And so I definitely will bring it back to you all. But if you go and subscribe to Tasha's app, you can go and watch, and then you can, I think it's $14, or I want to say $12 or something. You can go watch it and unsubscribe if you don't want to stay on there the whole time. Now, Scotty, what are you talking about? Scotty, that's what you think, Scotty? A lot of people think that. Well, Micca said that ain't it. She said nope, they've never had any type of intimate relationship. But you all can go watch Tasha's interview, and you can, if you don't want to stay on the app, you're able to watch and unsubscribe. So you just charge for the 1 month. And Tasha drilled her. Tasha asked her all kinds of questions. I hope Tasha asked Anton if she is married. Oh, y'all talking about y'all something else. He met someone, but I do not think it was because husband, maybe a boyfriend. You saying the guy that interviewed her, you think he met somebody, but it wasn't a husband. And if she is with an African man doing something in the DMV area, she wouldn't be moving the way she is unless he is a Simon. Ooh, Simon/Portia. What would she? Why would she admit that would make her look bad? I agree, Scotty. I totally agree. I agree. She wouldn't admit it. Of course she wouldn't admit it. I mean, it's bad enough while she's not admitting it. I couldn't imagine her admitting this because it would be even worse. So she absolutely would not admit it, but she wants us to believe that. And I don't believe it. I don't believe what she's saying at all. Y'all, it's late. It's 12:07. Let me get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll be over here talking about Clarissa tomorrow. But depending on what happens between today and tomorrow, when it comes to this Micca stuff and Anton and what comes out, we might be covering something else. Again, y'all, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We'll start being on here in the afternoon. I'll be back tomorrow. Thank y'all so much for being here. Good night. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.